Hello, this is Milton Baker inviting you to listen to NASCAR Racing right here on WCSL 1590 AM, 92.3 FM, and KTCBroadcasting.com.
Yeah, well, we didn't.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, my echo.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we didn't go through the other opening thing.
Hey,
so I was.
go ahead and play the music for us, really low, and we'll talk over it. And I'll do the introductions over the music. Hunter, it happened to me and Hunter the other day. I guess we got something to check on while the video, our opening credit is not been playing our pipe. The end of the video. So go ahead, JP, if you can figure it out and pipe it in for us. Hunter, you need to turn on the EXT and turn all the cues off for us to hear them in there.
Does the radio station have a policy about employees consuming alcohol on the job? Because I'm going to report one of my fellow employees.
I haven't seen anything in writing.
It does
Somebody
not
needs to be
have one,
reported.
Tom.
Somebody needs to be reported.
It does not have one, Tom.
JP, you got us up in there?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, I just making sure. Well, good morning, everybody. It must be my ear. I'm not.
I hear the music.
I got it.
As long as we're good for you guys, we're good here. Well, good morning, everybody. Good Saturday. We've got an intern in the house. Want to welcome Tanner Halbert to the house. Let's see if I can get his camera up. There he is. Wave to the camera, Tanner. Now, JP, move your drink in your little bag so Tanner we can get a clear shot of the young man. And JP, turn his mic on. And good morning, Tanner. Can you hear us in there?
Good morning.
Hey, there he is. Well, Tanner helped us out. His first job, guys, was last Saturday, helping us out. He's a student at Cleveland Community College, and he's got to get some hours in, and we're going to bounce around. I'm going to have him do as many different things as possible, is what I like to do with our interns. So if you guys listening out there, if son or daughter interested in really, there's all types of things in the radio business you don't know, whether it's engineering, audio, video, and JP, wearing a tiger suit. JP, adjust the camera a little bit there so we can see your face. I had it adjusted, actually, Hunter, when I set the camera up.
Mm-hmm.
I leaned back in it,
Right.
in my seat.
Right.
To simulate where JP would be. So that's what the camera was set up for, not for him to actually be in that close to the microphone. Good morning,
Really?
JP.
Good morning. It's funny, actually. Most people I don't know, they know I actually started here as an intern.
You're right.
And
JP
they
did
just-
too, as well, Tanner.
Now I just keep showing up, and y'all keep paying me.
We
so, hey.
cannot get rid of him. I think my dad's fired him like 7 times.
We've
already.
changed the lock a couple times.
We
He keeps
have.
figuring it out.
Yeah.
But the number one ability, Tanner, is availability, and that's almost in any sport. And I wanted to say good morning to everybody. We're enjoying a Mitchum's Kitchen breakfast. JP, I think there's a biscuit there for Tanner if you want to let him eat, or is
Yeah,
or,
he
or
actually he
okay.
has
I didn't know if Tanner gave him to or Terry, how Terry gave it to him. But Terry, what'd you have this morning? You and Tom, you guys don't look like y'all have anything in front of you.
No, all I had was a liver mush and egg biscuit today.
I'm guessing my food's in there too.
I had
Since it's
a
not here,
bacon,
okay.
egg, and cheese on toast.
Bacon, egg, and cheese on toast for Mr. Cinefani and Hunter.
Chicken biscuit.
Chicken biscuit.
You had a chicken and
I guess I got a chicken biscuit too, Terry.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was guessing. That's what Tanner wanted, so we ate what the intern wanted today,
fine.
Hunter.
That's
So-
fine. I ain't got no
Hunter
problem
has
with
no problems with it. It looks like he's going to be, he licked the plastic
And-
or the paper off
And
of it,
before
too.
we get
All
Before
right.
we get too far into it, let's remember our other sponsor, Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, located on 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-919-3001. And also Friendship Nissan on 156 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-245-1661. Give them a call. Get yourself a new Gladiator, a new Nissan Rogue. All kinds of cool stuff at those dealerships. So, see our friends. Thank you for your sponsorship.
Well, I was hoping he was going to call this morning, but I didn't expect it first thing. But that's okay. I was going to have a graphic up, but that's all right. I'll be okay. But Coach Pruitt is on the line, according to JP, and I'm guessing he's working on his playbook to get ready against Shelby and Huss and Burns next year, right, Coach? You there?
Don't play Crest, but yeah, we're ready for the game.
Good morning.
But
First
no,
of all,
it's a rough draft. So
right.
It's changed before, and it's going to change again. But it's going to change somebody's, but it probably, in all likelihood, wouldn't change ours. So when people see something like that, there's avenues for change, and there's a possibility for change. For us, if that's who we play, the way you look at that is, hey, we play good competition every year. Last time I checked, Thomas Jefferson has one of the best receivers in our state playing on their team. We're going to play, we play him this year in the fall. Mountain Island Charters, they got a kid going to Carolina, played linebacker, played against him the last 3 years. So we play good competition, and obviously there's great players at Burns and Hunter Huss and Shelby, and if that's the hand we're doing, that's the hand we're up. But the other side to it, and what you got to do in life is you got to take things for how it's positive. That is, if we can beat Highland City and Bessemer City every year, we're going to get the number one seed in the playoffs.
You're right.
Unless that changes. Now, there's always change, and I think that's the thing that people in North Carolina are concerned about these days is going from 8 to 4 and only having four divisions.
Right.
And how does that affect the conference season? Every 4 years, we change those every 4 years. And there's other systems out there. There's some schools, I think Virginia has 3A, 1 through 3A, and they subdivide off of that, gives you 6 state champions. Obviously, South Carolina has 5A and has half the schools in North Carolina. So I think that's something where there has to be some people come together, and there has to be some communication, and there's got to be some ways to try to figure out maybe what's best for the student athlete. And I think that's where we have to kind of center our concentration. So for us, getting ready to play a schedule that could include those teams. We still don't know if it's going to be a 10 games in 11-week season or a 10 game in a 10-week season. That will not be determined until February, much like the final draft of the conferences. So we're in limbo as coaches and administrators, but me and Coach Harrell have been on the phone working on, hey, who can we line up for non-conference and how do we go about doing that? So I'll leave it for questions after that.
All right, couple of questions I did have. So what I did, I've got the conferences here, and then I wrote down some proposals. We were going to talk about them at some point and split them up in 1A, 2A, 3A. And my question for you, or a couple of questions, I got. Number one is, would you rather have close to 6 teams in a conference or 10 teams in a conference? Is my first question.
If you had 10 teams in a conference, you would only be having room for one non-conference game. So for a lot of people, I think they might be opposed to that. But now, who is that one? If that one was West Lincoln, then yeah, that'd be great if we can work that. But there's not as much flexibility in that area. But, I know I talked with Pine Lake Prep yesterday. They've got 3 conference games right now. Mm-hmm. So he's got to find 7 non-conference games.
Right.
And for us, being in a conference with odd numbers, our idea is, and I think this was discussed yesterday between the athletic directors in our proposed conference, is how do you create open weeks within your conference schedule and still have a game there? So for us, if our open week is week 6 of the season, we have to have it lined up that the team we're going to play has an open week or can play us in week 6. With Pine Lake Prep only having 3 games, then that's possible.
Right.
But for some people, if your open week's week 10, which somebody's going to have a week 10 open week, then how do you find a team that can fit you? So that's going to be something that everybody can do, and you could match up conferences too. I guess maybe South Point has a conference that has an odd number, and you could say, oh, we're going to match up. But for me personally, at Cherryville, we only have 2 1A teams on our schedule right now.
Right.
So for me to match up against the 3A team, it's really not going to be fair to our program. So for us, we would not be open to that idea. So there's a lot of things to consider, and a lot of things that will happen between now and February. So we'll see how it all plays out.
One thing I'm liking or thinking about as far as bigger conferences is that is the competition. You know what I mean? Like in different sports, because every sport is different. So if you get down to 6 or 7 teams, you're looking at it in almost every sport. If one team's dominant, they may not have a competition in some sports. If you have 8, 9 teams, maybe better competition. Another question I have, if they're going to go ahead and do 1A, 2A split, if we're going to do split conferences, right? I got 2 questions. One,
There's a lot of them.
why wouldn't you just leave the conferences close to as they already are? And 2, or why wouldn't you do things like closer to in-county where everybody in Gaston County is the 2 and 3As are in their own, and then you guys are in a 1A 2A split with the Lincoln counties or wherever. You guys, the toughest part with you guys in Cherryville is that you're right in the middle of nothing but 2s and 3As, and all the 1As are 45 minutes away as prep schools. So that's what's really tough about you guys. It's hard to fit you guys in a conference, and just me going through it trying to find what would be best for everybody. It is tough, but when coming from the state, I'm not sure anybody from this side of the state had any input if they look at that and say that's somewhat fair. Now, with that said, I played for Cherryville and Bessemer. We played East Gaston. We played Hunter Huss. We played Shelby in every sport. I played Burns in every sport but football. But, I mean, if we play in Shelby, I mean, and so I played Shelby, Forest View, Kings Mountain, Charlotte Catholic. We played I'm trying to think of all the out-of-conference teams that were like that. Like, there was nothing but teams like that to play, and that's kind of where you guys fall. If you're not playing 1A, who do you play? And that's kind of what you're talking about there with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then back in the day, Cherryville used to be, you go in the gym, you see the Southern District 7 stuff. So they played Newton and Maiden and all those people. So it goes around and it varies. But I think you're, correct that we're kind of isolated. And I think when I look at those new conferences, the one thing they really try to stress was geographics and trying to be pretty close to your opponents.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was asking about.
I guess our farthest trip would be East. Our farthest trip would be East Gaston.
Yeah, Coach.
But if we try to stay and make some flops or variations, someone proposed, well, let's put Drone, which is 1A in our conference, and that would have to slide another team in, which would maybe be, West Caldwell, because they're 2A and they're isolated trying to go up the mountain. And then thus Shelby and, Burns would have to have another place to go. Obviously, I think Rutherford County, that's where I was kind of shocked. I saw Thomas Jefferson ended up with all the other Rutherford County schools, and there's always been a little bit of friction there, and there's been a lot of pushback on what we need to do. But obviously that is being mended a little bit, which I think is good. It's going to be good for those schools because, hey, how many people are going to go show up at Thomas Jefferson to go watch RS and Thomas Jefferson play? I think quite a few, particularly when it starts out as, for the first game or whatever, when they first start playing a rivalry. So that should be neat, and that's fine. But, for us, the only 1As close to us are Thomas Jefferson and the charter schools, and that's who we've been playing with. And, they even made kind of cut the boundary there. Piedmont Charter and Mountain Island went the opposite way. I really was surprised when Piedmont Charter wasn't in our conference. So it is what it is. And I'll let y'all ask me a few more questions. I know y'all want to get busy with your day.
Yeah, Coach, didn't they try to take this thing and, you're not going to go by the next school closest to you if they're in your geographic area?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they really tried to do. It's all from travel and everything, so it's not going to cost each school that much to go to the next place.
I think you're right, Terry. Just like if we did make that switch between Burns and Shelby and added, say, Drone and West Caldwell, I have to drive through Lincoln County to get to Burke County.
Yes.
I have to drive through Lincoln County and Catawba County to get to Caldwell County. So, when you're looking at that scenario, I think that's one of the things they try to do. But, for some people, though, for some teams down east, that's not going to happen because they're so far apart in some instances. And then, like the West Caldwell, they got a conference between a small group of mountain schools and a small group of schools off the mountain. So they've got like Madison and they've got Mountain Heritage, and that's a pretty good trip going up the mountain like that. I think Avery's in that conference too. So it's not always going to be perfect. They're never every year, every 4 years, you always get this complaint about, from some groups and from some people that it's not fair for and it's not going to ever be fair for everybody. In life, you're never going to find something that's going to please everybody. So with that said, we just if this is the conference that we're in and we're dealt, we're going to be happy with it. Find the best way to go with that. And, you know, I talked to a couple parents yesterday. I had parents call me, "Hey, coach, is this happening?" And I said, "Well, right now it is, and if it don't change, it's going to happen." I said, you can look at it this way, too. We've had kids in the past at Cherryville say, "Well, I don't get exposure in the football program to go to the next level, so I might look to go and play somewhere else." Well, you're going to get plenty of exposure when you get on the field with Hunter Huss, Shelby, and Burns. And if you shine out in those games, people know you can play. So that's going to give our kids that opportunity to maybe take that step. And hopefully we'll raise some expectations within our program and make our program better. We really feel good about these next couple classes coming into Cherryville and what they can do. And this is the group of people that will be playing.
Well, I'm going to have to get Terry to do some research on some of the matchups with Huss and Burns against Cherryville and Bessemer. I'm not football wise. I know we scrimmaged Huss and Bessemer played them quite a bit after I left. I played Shelby myself, so I know how those went. So I'm going to get Terry some info on some of these new possible matchups. One thing that I think maybe have hurt you guys as far as the matching up which conference to put you in also is East and North Lincoln moving up into 3A. Now, do they play in a full 3A? Do they play 3A, 4A? Do they play in a 3A, 2A? And that's why I was like, they could almost have kept their conference right, Terry, if you're going to do splits into a 2A to 3A and maybe add one more. But theirs
is all 3A.
Theirs is moved to an all three. So they'd have been
the only 2 3As, and that would have been they're going to play each year for that number 1 seed, and that'd be big. I mean, you know, but I think they're in the conference. I talked with a school in that conference. I guess it was Fred T. Ford. They call that kind of the I-40 conference because it goes up towards Statesville, North Iredale, I think West Iredale, Statesville.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 schools,
St. Stephen's,
and
Hickory,
then a couple
and Ford.
Talbot schools. Yeah, right. So you know, it's a pretty good little competitive conference, I think. And you know, it's definitely there's some differences. There's like for my brother, he's an AD at Fullbush High School. For years, they had what they called the Mountain Valley 1A, 2A. There was 4 1As and 4 2As, and it was in that tri-county area of Wilkes and Yadkin and Surrey County. Well, last realignment, they split that up. They sent Fullbush to Winston-Salem to play a lot of the Winston-Salem schools, and they went crazy. They was upset, and they had to do it. But this go around, it went back to the way it was. So my brother's really happy about that. But just scheduling non-conference. We're still looking for one more non-conference game, probably in week 3. And I've talked with a few people, but we also trying to find a school close to our size that's not too far away that will fit the bill for that. So we'll see how it plays out.
Well, see, one thing that I don't like when I was asking about the counties, it's one thing to split up 8 teams in a county, like, say, Gaston.
Right.
But, it's in Cleveland County and Lincoln County, I'm sure both county administrations and people in the county would love for everyone to be in the same conference.
Oh, yeah.
So you can play each other twice. It means more. It's better on travel. And then to say you're going to split conferences and I can't, and then we're not in the same conference, and you're splitting conferences. That's a hard sell to me to the Lincoln County and the Cleveland County schools with only 4 schools in the conference. I think they could have, made something better. If you do, let's say you do 10 teams in the conference, and then you do your 3A, put Ford, Lincoln, and North there in that same SD7, and there you go. You got 10, and you got your split. I don't know, but I just, it's tough to me splitting those up. They kept Rutherford County together, all 4 of them. And like you said, Polk's only got 1 school, so it can kind of go either way. Rutherford's on the edge. Do they go to the mountains and play, or do they come this way? So.
Yep. And then, the other thing, just like when you say, oh, well, let's change this for football, well, you got to consider all the other sports.
Right,
too.
right. 100%.
And like when you're talking
Travel's
about
the main
having
thing.
a 10-team conference, if they're going to cut football by a game, then they're probably going to cut basketball a couple games. They're probably going to cut baseball a couple games. And if you have a 10-team conference, then that really limits you on how many non-conference games you could have if you're only limited to 20 games. And you got 18 conference games. Well, now you only got 2 non-conference games to play. So, that might be part of the equation of why they want to stay away from that. But there used to be some conferences that had as many as those, depending on where you were and if you're really isolated. Like, I guess the Smoky Mountain used to be like that, and then they split it into the Smoky Mountain East and West. And I think, obviously with the charter schools, I think they try to keep as many charter schools together in conferences as they could, and that might have created a few issues. But you're kind of limited, like with you said, with Cleveland County, they either got to be with Rutherford County or with Gaston County. And then with so many Gaston County schools, they did a pretty good job of keeping the bigger Gaston County schools together, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a change and going to be something to get used to. But like I said, we'll see how the next draft comes and then how things play from there. But appreciate you guys and hope y'all have a great day. And go
Yes, sir.
Mountaineers. Let's beat Georgia Southern today.
Yes, sir. Go Mountaineers.
All right.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, take care.
All right, that's Coach Tim Pruitt at CH Ironman FB on Twitter. If you folks been online, folks, you can listen. If you're listening to the show, you can, of course, listen to Cherryville Sports, Coach Pruitt, and then Coach Harrell in basketball and Coach Hebner in baseball on 1590 92.3 FM. And then, so we've got, I didn't get obviously the graphic up or whatever for this, but you guys have the sheets of paper in front of you. So on the top of your guys' sheet is the actual conferences. The middle is kind of someone that I proposed / what I thought may be something that they'd want to look at, would be better maybe. It was more of countywide conferences, and then the bottom is just me that's just the breakdown of 1A, 2A, 3A of some of the schools around the area. Some of the notes on it originally we talked last week in the original numbers, Hunter. You guys, Bandy's and Maiden, they were close to being 3A.
Mm-hmm.
So these conferences could have been totally different if those two teams are 3A. They're in there with East and North, and who knows how that goes and how they split that up. But Terry, as far as Lincoln County goes in the SD7, if you're splitting them up, do you like splitting the county teams up like that? And in Cleveland County, where you have to play now out of conference, and then even this year, like it happens this year, Tom, they're not even going to play each other now. Because of the pandemic, and so now you have opportunities to not even play each other because it doesn't mean anything. So, you work in Cleveland, you work in Lincoln. What do you guys think about those splits if they should? And then I went and put, if you to notice, those two counties together. They play each other in middle school. 2 of them are 2A, 2 of them are 3A in each county. Crest, Kings Mountain, North, East, West, Lincoln and Burns, and Shelby. I think that would be a great conference all around. They kept the 3As where it was. They just switched out South Point and Huss. But Hunter, you guys staying in the 2A. I guess you're happy kind of about that.
I mean, they just don't have the team that they had 2 years ago. When you don't have that workhorse in the backfield, I mean. I will say this. Is it good that they stay 2A? Oh, absolutely.
Is it good or bad on teams like Bandy's and say the Lincolns, the Maids, or whoever, the Burns classically don't want to compete every year for a state championship, but have good teams, good or bad, Terry, like I was talking, it goes from 8 to 4 divisions. So those teams probably don't have a chance or do a lot of years to even compete for that state championship now, do they?
Well, I think that's where the problem will come into. Because when you had the 2A, 2AA, you could almost split. You always, when we had Shelby coming up, always hope Shelby goes one way and we go the other. Reedsville was the same way. Now they're not going to be able to separate each other. They're going to have to play before they get there. And, Tom, you know how that is. All of a sudden, this is what everybody wanted. I mean, when you have this come down, everybody goes, oh, man, I wish Reedsville and Shelby could play this year. Now you're back in that scenario where they're going to have to play if they're both going to make it.
I always thought eight state champions was too many in football. I would like, I think Kevin and I are kind of on the same wavelength. Let's go 4 divisions, then maybe a charter division, and then maybe a private school. 16.
Yeah.
Or you could do that too. Like let's put the biggest schools in their own, and then do it a little differently. So I think you can go a little more than 4, but I think 8 was too many. But you're exactly right. Now we don't have to sit around and wait. Oh, who's going to be too little? Who's going to be too big? And are we going to see a Shelby, Reedsville, blah blah blah? Now we don't have to worry about that.
Well, I'll tell you who I think gets hurt by this. I think East Lincoln and North Lincoln just got really hurt by this.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. North Lincoln was in a 3A, and I'm not saying they couldn't compete.
It was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
but.
And they to me, and North Lincoln, them people down there, they saw it, they know. I don't think North Lincoln was able to compete in that.
Yeah.
Right.
And here you are again, you're going to move back to that with about the same teams you had before with Statesville, West Iredell. St. Stephen's wasn't involved.
And it's not
on
saying
that
North Lincoln isn't a good team. I think they got good players, and obviously they got a great coach.
Great
it just
coach
comes down to who you are playing against.
And helps they're not in a 4A split too.
Yeah,
right.
They were in a 4A split.
And I'd say this: they're near the
Sorry,
lake,
Huss.
so they're going to grow. People are wanting to live in that area, so they're going to get more families living out
East
there.
moving back to a 3 shows
Yeah,
that.
but are they getting football players? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are they getting
And the
football
only way-
players?
Well, Ashbrook only had
that's a different
26
question.
football players last year. That's the best one had 25.
Yeah.
And Ashbrook's the I
So
think
just
the
because
biggest,
because you're
biggest
growing doesn't
school
mean
in
you're
the
growing
county.
in football.
They had
talent.
1,300 students.
But the only way you can do that and be legit is every time that they think about, okay, North and East are getting ready to bump up to 3A, Lincoln County would have to go in, okay, we're going to resegregate everything again to keep everybody in one spot. And you cannot continue to do that.
And it's not, and we just keep bringing up, obviously football, because that's what the money maker really is in high school athletics. But when you look at, going back to how North Lincoln was when they moved up to 3A, in every major ball sport they struggled. It wasn't just football. Yeah. They struggled in basketball, they struggled in baseball, and it is like Kevin likes to say a lot of times, it's a numbers thing. And that's why, to me, I thought, if Maiden, as much success as Maiden has had over the years in football and in other sports, if they would have moved up to 3A, there would have been a lot of talk over there in Maiden about why are we not competing anymore? Why are we not winning? Because it's, to me, not that you don't have the players, it's just the numbers thing. You got these larger schools that are able to produce more bodies. It's just. And bandies wise, obviously they were 2A the whole time I was there. They were 2A before, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, well, it's like people talk about 4A, and when you segregate that, and you got 2,500 kids coming to your school, and they classify you as a 4A, and all of a sudden you're bumped down, you don't have 4AA now. Well, they're going to be competing against people who's got 4,000.
Right.
Kids. So 1,500 more kids. I can get something out of 1,500 more kids.
All right. So we all, we think or the solution maybe is 5A and another class or 6 if you do whatever it is. But 8 does kind of stretch it kind of weird. What made it weird is because instead of calling it 8A, it was 1 double one. We're going to play each other in this conference, but then we might not even play each other in the playoffs.
That went on for a long time.
Yeah, it did.
Right. So basically what I've read online and from the experts is that they had the Athletic Association cannot change the bylaws without a vote from all the schools. And part of the vote is that not even enough schools even responded to the votes or even the emails. So they didn't even get enough votes to be able to change that bylaw to go to the 5 and 6A. So this is the only solution is that they have the 4. And so I don't know the reason and football is a weird sport to me, is that we preach, we got to have it because we got to make the money, right? But then we cut down from 8 to 4, and then we cut down from 11 to 10 games. But then you also say it's safe to play. But why are we cutting down? Well, safety. Well, if it's not safe to play, there's a spinning circle that we go around. Whether what's safe, what's right. Baseball, I always make the argument as far as the baseball kids. You don't count the pitch count. You don't count the throws to first. You don't count the warm-up pitches. Football players don't even have a pitch count. You throw 100 passes and nobody would care, and that ball weighs 10 times more. So there's so many weird things about the health rules, and like I was saying, is that Terry, they don't even have the votes. Yeah, some people didn't even respond.
Yeah, there's where the problem come in at, because last time it come up about the charter schools, there was a vote thrown out there, and not enough people responded, so it couldn't change. So all the charter schools and everybody stayed in the conference they were in because not enough response. And it all comes back. I mean, if you're an AD, and they tell you, hey, I got to have your vote by a certain time, do it. If you don't, then, you have to deal with what was just given to you. And that's what's happened.
All right. Well, go ahead, Tom.
I just going to say that I really liked what you came up with when I was looking over that when Coach Pruitt. And one thing I do like about
JP, hit the record button. Tom, repeat that.
Yeah.
No, I just said I liked what Kevin came up with.
That's the first piece of paper he's ever looked at.
I'm not like these guys.
Oh, here we go. No, all right. Oh, we'll get to that in a minute, Tom.
I'm objective.
You're going to be objective in a little bit.
Wait till bad
I can be objective. But the Lincoln County, Cleveland County, I mean, you want to talk about, and I hate the fact that money even comes up because that's not what high school sports is supposed to be about. Unfortunately, it is by de facto reasons. But that would be just a great conference. You just keep in the Lincoln County and the Cleveland County teams. You're cutting down on travel. Mm-hmm. You look at that conference. Football, I think it's pretty balanced. I think it'd be a pretty cool basketball conference as well. I think.
Terry, what about wrestling?
Baseball.
You know more about the wrestling part about that.
Wrestling,
baseball would be.
Wrestling in West Lincoln is very good.
8 teams in a conference.
They're good.
8 teams in a conference is a good number, I think.
I think it's perfect for a lot of reasons. But then when I look at the Rutherford County outside of that Thomas Jefferson being putting in there, now it makes geographic sense. If I never lived in this area before and I just came in and said, well, I mean, there's a school in Rutherford County, there's Chase,
That's
there's
what
ours,
they do down
there's
east, yeah.
Rutherford County. Let's go ahead and put them all together. They have no idea. Do you realize what a bloodbath is going to be in any sport when Thomas Jefferson and any Rutherford County school gets on that field?
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's just football. Soccer, you ever see it? You play soccer, they can get ugly.
Right. And
it's going to get ugly.
The state's response is probably going to be, if you're not going to separate them into their separate conferences anyway, that you're going to have to play them sometime in the playoffs or somewhere,
There is a lot of bad blood
so my
between
proposed, I know my proposed on that one was the 4 Rutherford counties, Polk County. So there's your 5 teams, and then you got 4 teams, 3 from Gaston County, the 3 1A or the 3 1As. I wrote Mountain Island. I didn't know which way they would go. They'd probably rather be around the lake anyway. Cherville, Bessemer, Highland Tech. I forgot wrote Highland Tech right there too. So the Catawba one there, they all play each other. They'd be, if we're splitting them anyway, that's why I was like, if we're going to split anyway, why are we splitting up the county teams? Like you could find a better way, and that's what I was trying to do. With that, folks, for you folks listening, let me give you the conferences. We'll go kind of around the thing, let everybody talk a little bit. I've been talking a lot. I'll give you the first one and let the guys kind of rotate. Conference 40 is Bessemer City, Cherville, Highland Tech in 1A, Burns, East Gaston, Huss, and Shelby in 2A. Huss was almost 3A. They were last year. They've moved down. East Gaston has moved back and forth. Burns has moved back and forth. Shelby's in pretty constant 2A. Hunter, take away for around the table.
Conference 45, Bandy's, Bunker Hill, East Burke, Lincolnton, Maiden, Newton Conover, and West Lincoln.
And Conference 51, it was East Lincoln, Fred T. Ford, Hickory, North Iredell, North Lincoln, St. Stephen's, Statesville, and West Iredell.
Conference 50 would be Ashbrook, Crest, Forest View, Kings Mountain, North Gaston, South Point, and Stuart Kramer, which that makes a little, a Gaston Cleveland, but I'd really rather see a Gaston Lincoln. I like.
You mean Lincoln Cleveland?
Well, excuse me, Lincoln Cleveland. Thank you. I'd rather see that Lincoln Cleveland than Gaston Cleveland.
I'd pack the seats at every game.
You would, because
every game would be packed
because
seats. Every game, every
the
week.
West Lincoln folk. Look at how Kings Mountain traveled that one when Kings Mountain was making their run. They all traveled. When that one coach, where was it that they thought the Kings Mountain people wouldn't come, and they had
it was the AD at AC Reynolds.
AC Reynolds.
Yes, it was. It was in Nashville.
He had so many. Kings Mountain had so many fans that he had to open up the baseball field and let people stand on their baseball stands, and the people were on the press box. They were climbing wherever they could climb. Over there, Kings Mountain fans were climbing, so they were dared to climb trees, and I guess they did. It was like an Appalachian football game in the 80s or 90s when security was a little bit more lax. You could get up in the trees and watch games especially when it snowed. Get up there under and get you a blanket and a big old parka, watch some football. Did y'all finish those? Sorry about that.
No, Conference 41, Thomas Jefferson, Rosman, Brevard, Chase, East Rutherford, Hendersonville, Polk are essential. And as I said, it is going to be ugly.
All right, Tanner, you're doing a good job pretending to be JP in there. They're both leaned back, looking a lot alike, looking like CCC in there, guys. Come on, no. Anyway, Tanner, I do got some questions for you. I want to introduce you to the folks, so go ahead and set up, and we're going to say hello to you. Now, you are a Crest graduate, right?
Yes.
And what year are you? When did you graduate Crest?
2018.
So this is your second year at CCC or first year?
Second.
All right. So what kind of things? Let's go over stuff. You and me talked the other day. Some of your favorite teams. So your NFL favorite team is who?
Falcons.
The Atlanta Falcons. Now, what makes you a Falcons fan? Any particular reason? Family or anything like that?
My uncle lived in Atlanta for a while, and when I was little, he introduced me to the Falcons.
Okay. JP, turn his mic up just a little bit. Mr. Radio Engineer, he bragged last week, Hunter, about how he made everybody sound good. You got to make the levels even, JP. I'm looking at the levels on the screen. You too. Let's go, engineer. See, Tanner, I told him if he don't get right this week, you're going to replace him in there. Baseball. You got a baseball team?
Either Atlanta Braves or Indians.
Braves or Indians. So what would happen if they played each other in the World Series?
I'd probably go for the Braves because they're closer.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, Tom's an Indians fan, and Hunter's a Braves fan. So these two will, they would be behind you, I guess, until the World Series are with you. Except Hunter's all the way. Go Braves, right?
Probably.
All right. Well, Terry's a Royals fan. I'm Cardinals, and JP has no idea what any of that means, right, JP?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
No preference whatsoever.
Okay.
What is sports?
Yeah, what is sports, right, JP? Anyway, JP, I got some stuff to talk to you about Christmas here in a little bit. So we've got that's football. Now basketball. This is kind of a weird one. So you're a LeBron fan, right?
Yeah.
So whatever jersey he's got on, that's who you're pulling for.
Yeah.
Even if it's I don't know.
What makes you, Tanner, a LeBron fan?
I just like how he holds his character and everything and how he plays.
What's the best part of his game?
His dunking ability.
All right, Tanner. So right now you're a Lakers fan then, right?
Yeah.
So that means you're Terry's mortal enemy right now because
Exactly,
he's a
Tanner.
Celtics fan. So
I just put an X by you,
you
buddy.
don't know what he did to your biscuit because I told him before he came in.
But
here.
I'll tell you, there are a lot of young people like that
They
are
are.
LeBron fans.
Yeah.
I mean, that is not an unusual thing. That wherever LeBron goes, it's just Tanner. I just hope you're not one of these things that says one of these guys that says, well, LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan was one kid said playing against a bunch of freight dock workers and Walmart cashiers or something, trying to imply that guys back in the 80s and 90s weren't any good. You don't think that way, do you, Tanner?
No, MJ's better than LeBron.
Oh, okay. Well, that's rare for young people.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Faint dead away.
The only reason I know that
you
is-
just solidified your future employment at KTC Broadcasting. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that right now.
Go ahead.
You've got a job. You don't have to worry about it.
Go ahead, Tanner.
The only reason I know that is because my dad played high school basketball against MJ.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's cool.
What school did he go to?
I think it was Jacksonville High School.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's neat. So, well, Tanner, welcome to the KTC family for now. Unless you do something bad, then we'll kick you out. But
Don't listen to him, Tanner.
And don't listen to him. We've been putting up with JP for a
Don't
while.
listen to him.
he doesn't.
If none of us have been fired yet, you have no worries.
I told him that JP's got a bar. I don't know where it's at, or if it's high or low, or how to explain it. But there's a bar with JP. Dad's tried to get rid of him about 7-8 times. All right, good morning, everybody. We've had breakfast, Mitch's Kitchen. When we come back, it's almost time for bad picks. We've got we got to do some bad picking to do ourselves. I didn't get the list out to you guys this morning. Pull up my notes. We've got NCAA football, NFL picks, some NBA news and notes, NCAA basketball. I'm sure Hunter has some glowing things to say about Coach K coming up, right?
Yeah, we
yeah.
all do.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
big fans in here.
Big
Tanner, Duke,
back,
Carolina, who you pull
it's my
for?
back. Oh.
Tanner, you got a team? Who college basketball?
Clemson.
Clemson. All right. That's as long as you don't say Duke, we'll be all right.
There you go.
All right. Oh yeah. We'll be back in a minute. KDC broadcast.
You know, we always tell our kids that there's no such thing as a money tree. But did you know at Friendship Nissan in Forest City, we kind of do have a money tree? Our money tree gives a $500 better price on any new Nissan, and that's a $500 guarantee that we put in writing. We have no haggle clear choice pricing, the region's only non-commissioned sales force, and we have the only lifetime warranty with no time or mileage limits. So you see, at Friendship Nissan, we kind of do have a money tree, and we're located in Forest City.
Plumbing problems? Well, if you're not an expert plumber, then we invite you to call the Expert Plumbers. That's Olmsted Plumbing in Forest City. Just call 828-245-7302. Recommended since 1973. From faucets to sinks to toilets, from sewer and drains to well pumps, from dishwashers to disposals to bathroom remodeling, residential and commercial, new homes too. Don't let your plumbing problems drive you plumb crazy. Call Olmsted Plumbing in Forest City, 828-245-7302, or visit the website at olmstedplumbing.com.
Join us every Sunday at 11 a.m. for our Sunday morning worship services on WCSL 1590 AM and 92.3 FM. It's the Sunday morning service of First Baptist Church in Cherryville. On WLON 1050 AM and 107.5 FM, it's the Sunday service of the Covenant Bible Church in Lincolnton. And on WOHS 1390 AM and 101.5 FM, it's the Sunday service of the Calvary Baptist Church of Shelby. Join us each and every Sunday morning for our Sunday morning worship services on The Boss and Carolina Country.
Just in Time Plumbing in Kings Mountain wishes their customers a Merry Christmas and thanks them for their business. A leading residential and commercial service company operated in Cleveland and Gaston counties. Just in Time Plumbing is family owned and operated. They can handle any job from sewer backups, Renai tankless water heaters, gas piping, and more. And they offer financing on all projects. Their licensed service professionals have extensive experience and take pride in providing first-class service on time, on budget, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Call 704-600-8350 for your free estimate. Just in Time Plumbing, every time. 107 South City Street in Kings Mountain. Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville wants to remind you that holiday shopping is right around the corner. And now you can get a fixed-rate Visa credit card with 1% cash back and rewards from Carolina Federal Credit Union with rates as low as 10.90% APR. And you can apply online at carolinafcu.org/Visa or drop by their office at 1200 East Church Street in Cherryville. Make holiday shopping easy with your new fixed-rate Visa card with 1% cash back from Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville.
Take advantage of a special offer on the versatile Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor. Switching attachments is simple, and a smooth hydrostatic transmission makes for easy operation. The Kubota BX Series, the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. for over 10 years. You own the land. Now, make it yours. Get the Kubota BX 2380 for payments as low as $99 a month.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive, off Highway 74 at Oak Grove Road, Kings Mountain.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. I was able to do my opening today because Kevin, the video wasn't working, so...
It's unfortunate, JP, that you just didn't get to do your beautiful opening.
I know, my talent is never appreciated.
That's exactly right.
So you're saying that your talent is being wasted?
Yes.
Yes,
wow.
JP.
Wow. JP, I hate to hear that.
Yeah.
I hate to hear that.
I mean, it takes so much for me to push a button.
There's a good thing there's not any elves sitting on the shelves in that room watching you right now.
It takes so much for you to get up out of the bed and get in the car and make it
That's
on time.
the hardest thing of his day.
No, actually, it's pushing the buttons.
Is that JP stays up so late at night with the ladies.
Jeez, JP.
I was in bed by 10 last night.
I bet you were.
I have no ladies to go out with.
Well, let me tell you something, JP. Even if you wanted to go out, as of right now, you cannot.
Exactly my point. Of course, I didn't go out before, so it really ain't much of a difference.
You can Netflix and chill, JP.
I Netflix all the time. I pay for Netflix.
I told you, daughter. Player. We see your signs. We see your signs. Amy likes you.
Amy said hello again.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about coaches whining for a little bit. Then we'll do our bad picks, and then we'll come back with our this week's picks. So this week, we've got Coach K and Dabo, supposed kings of the sports. Coach K's 2-2, Terry, and it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago, or maybe months ago. He said something to the nature of, college basketball can't lose the tournament again.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get back and we have to play this tournament. What he means is they need that money. Duke can't afford to pay him $10 million a year if they ain't in the tournament. Now, Dabo, who whined and complained about Florida State not being able to play, is now whining and complaining that Ohio State is not going to play enough games. And we had some fun texts last night, and Tom, I want you to give the case for why Ohio State, A, should be allowed in the conference championship game, and if they win, be allowed in the Final Four.
All right, the first thing is 3 games got canceled that was not their fault. Okay, so in this season, things like that are going to happen. Now, would I have liked to see them pick up another game? Would I have liked to see them play Texas A&M today? Absolutely. I think that would have been great because it solidifies any kind of doubt of who goes. And if you go down there and you get beat, you don't get to go. And that's just, it is what it is. Like when Hunter told me when they got beat by Purdue in 2018, well, you got beat, you don't get to go. But the problem with, it's not the Ohio State people, it's the powers that be, because y'all have to realize that when you get a playoff bid, everybody in your conference gets money. So Dabo, of course, wants Notre Dame and Clemson in the college football playoff because then they double up, right? They get for both those teams. So number one, it's beyond your control. Number two, if the powers that be, and this is just the way it is, they think you're the best, fourth best team in the country, then that's the way it is. Now, if you would do a more hard and fast rule like Kevin's rule, you're the conference champion or you're not the conference champion. One thing that is it would take away all the talk. Oh, Texas A&M better than Ohio State. Oh, Ohio State's better than Texas A&M. It would take away all that arguing because we've already seen Texas A&M play Alabama and get curb stomped. So why are we even arguing that a rematch of Texas A&M and Alabama would be even worth watching? Now, that being said, Texas A&M didn't play today. Ohio State didn't play today. That would have been a great game. It would have been great exposure for both programs. If Ohio
Cincinnati didn't play today either.
Yeah, that'd been fine with me if they played Cincinnati or Texas A&M today. But what it is these conference gurus are not going to jeopardize because they know everybody in the conference is going to get money. Okay. And that's just is what it is.
Hold on, Terry. My next quick question for Tom, I brought this up to Hunter the other day, is because I saw people thinking about this. What if you're a team, and it didn't come, this ain't how it happened, but let's say, what if you are Michigan and you don't like Ohio State? And the rule is you got to play 6 games. You're John Harbaugh. Maybe you get fired, maybe you don't this year. But best thing for me to do is not get dog walked by Ohio State.
Because it hurts your recruiting.
Best thing for us to do is have Corona. Best thing for us to do is get this game canceled, and it hurts Ohio State, not us. And that was the conspiracy before, this was a few weeks back. I was watching, will a team, with one game out or whatever, not play another team and affect the standings because of Corona, and you'll have a team jump someone else in the conference standings.
You know good and well that's exactly why Tulsa and Cincinnati are not playing this weekend. Because Tulsa's undefeated, and so is Cincinnati.
They saw what happened to BYU.
They would mess something up.
And it's the conference leadership, which I do not like. I really liked. I will say I will tip my cap to both BYU and Coastal Carolina for playing that game. And I would have loved to see Ohio State do the same.
Well, BYU listened to what basically the College Football Playoff Committee said when they ranked them at 16th. They said, you haven't played anybody worth us ranking you higher. And BYU took that to heart. That's why I was hoping maybe Cincinnati and Tulsa would still get in. Play that game. Cincinnati have another good win on their record.
But as long as we're talking the enormous amounts of money we're talking about, that's corrupting the process. That really is. Go ahead,
well, that's
Terry.
The same thing
go
was
ahead, let Terry make his great points.
If it's up to college football, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State going to be in every year.
Yeah, I agree.
Every year.
Yes.
They're going to put all 3 of them in it. But here's my deal. Last week when I walked in here and I claimed, and Hunter sat here beside me, and we complained you hadn't played enough games. Somebody across from me, which I didn't really question him, he says, no, there's no rule for that. There's no such thing saying we have to play so many games. It's on recording from last week. I watched it again just to make sure I saw it. But he said there's no such rule. Well, you know what? It was his own conference who said you got to play 6 games.
But it wasn't the national. It wasn't the national committee. It wasn't the national committee.
What did they do? Was have a meeting on Wednesday to make everything their way. I'm sorry. Indiana should be playing Northwestern because you didn't play enough games. That's not our fault, your fault. You should have jumped in there and grabbed another game to make sure I had 6.
Did
Well,
Indiana did Indiana beat Ohio State?
They did not.
They did.
No. Actually, they did.
Listen.
But anyway.
Actually, they did.
But, when I sat back and I saw that, and I was like, I got to go back and listen to that recording last week because somebody told me there was no such rule.
There isn't.
They are a rule in your own conference.
But we weren't talking about the conference rule, Terry. We were talking about the national committee's rule.
But your own conference wasn't even going to let you in it.
We're not talking about that, Terry.
Tom, you're 100% right. There is no rule in the college football playoff.
Correct.
You're correct. But where I did have a gripe was with your conference. 100%.
I have a gripe with the conference. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with y'all. Is the Big Ten protecting Ohio State? Yes. Do I agree with that? No. Y'all just coming at me like I'm the Big Ten commissioner. I'm not.
just saying.
I would say
this is how a lot of us have viewed it.
Yep. There's
from the outside looking in, for Coach Day to have come out Monday and said there needs to be a revision of this, and then the Big Ten committee getting together Wednesday, that looked like straight pandering to just what Ohio State wanted.
You did this to put your Big Ten so they would have a chance at national championship. If it wasn't for that, if they would have said, well, they're not going to be no national championship, Big Ten would have never jumped in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
They'd have never jumped in.
Terry, because the money. The money corrupts. The money has corrupted college football. Why do you think Dabo Swinney's out there? Oh, Texas A&M. He doesn't care about Texas A&M. What he wants to make sure is to kind of create this smoke screen of he wants to make sure that if something happens between those two, Notre Dame and Clemson, no matter what happens in that game, he wants to make sure Notre Dame and Clemson are in that college football playoff.
I think they are.
I was about
regardless.
to say they're setting up some of this. I like watching the polls and how they set these teams up by keeping the Cincinnati's at 8. And you see teams jump up.
Was Cincinnati up to 6 at one time?
Right, they were.
Yeah, and guess what?
They're
8.
Fail.
They're
How
8.
does that happen?
They got passed by Iowa State.
Iowa State's
Aussies.
in front of them. Absolutely,
Yeah,
and it's
how does that
ridiculous.
happen?
That's ridiculous. Because for years, I keep
The
going
big
back.
conferences are gonna
The
get the money.
BCS always said for you to get into the national championship, all you got to do is win, baby, win. You go undefeated, you got a great opportunity, and you've got 4 1-2 loss teams in front of Cincinnati right now. It's like, if I'm Cincinnati, I am calling every major network right now, and I'm giving them the ear. Like, I'm getting my airtime, and I'm letting it be known.
See, but you need to put it to rest. The five conference champions plus 3 others.
Coastal
right.
Carolina,
You're
you
right.
mentioned them. The coach there is great. He's done a great job there. If I was him, why not put me in the national championship?
And I
beat everybody I played.
I listened to the interview of the Coastal Carolina coach, and I think he did a good job. He's not a screaming idiot like a Dabo Swinney or like always try. He just basically says, "Hey man, right here's our resume.
Right.
This is who we beat. We beat
Tom,
we beat BYU, we beat Louisiana, we beat Appalachian State."
And it's one of those things, though, where with Ohio State, how I was trying to explain last night, not trying to be snarky about it, it's just we know Ohio State is the best team in that conference.
Yeah, well, that's easy.
That's easy. That's easy.
That's
but at
easy.
least
That's
for
every year.
But at least for your conference championship, if this has been a rule that has been in place for years, as it has been, you at least have to get your 6th game in. From an optic standpoint, for you just to change it this year, just so Ohio State can get in there, it looks bad. Now that's
I'm not going to dispute that.
I don't think that would have taken you out of college football playoff.
Because we would have had an extra game anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it would have been better instead of Coach Day to come out and say that they need to relook at this, for him to say, we'll just play anybody that wants to play this weekend. I don't care if it's West. I wouldn't have cared if y'all had played Western or somebody else. I don't care. You just got to meet that. The parameters there for a reason. Everybody else in the conference has to hit it.
I would have said I would have loved a Texas A&M Ohio State game. Let's settle it on the field.
I agree.
But you haven't said
they're
yet.
not.
The standard is the standard.
That's the.
Well, it is.
But that's the fan perspective,
right?
And the fan perspective is going to be different from the people who benefit monetarily.
Yeah.
I don't know your schedule.
That's the problem.
The 2 other teams you missed, are they both playing this week? You couldn't make it up this week or anything, or
what's that now?
The 2 teams you already missed.
Who were the
I
original
wanted to say that it could have worked out with Maryland,
right? So here's the thing, and I was kind of just touching on it last night. And Hunter, I agree with you. The standard is the standard, but again, what do you do about Corona and the games being canceled? So,
well, really, I'll tell you who screwed it was just the committee in general by not showing up to the party. They screwed everybody by not giving you that amount of time to make up games like every other conference had.
But what is the national championship game?
Your own conference.
They play.
I'm not going to dispute that.
They play. When do they play semifinals?
January 1st,
Why couldn't they
New Year's Day, and then January 11th is
because they said hard cutoff.
Why should you move it back?
That's what I'm saying.
Why should you move it back when the Big Ten's the one that says, "Oh, we're not playing"?
Pac-12 came back that literally 2 weeks later.
That's what I'm saying. You made that choice.
Where's the national championship game?
It is the middle of a pandemic. It is the
national
middle
championship
of
is in Louisiana.
People dying of a pandemic.
So a lot of bowls aren't even going to be played.
Yeah,
a lot of teams aren't going to go, and a lot of polls are going to be. A lot of places are going to cancel them. The area is going to cancel them. The only thing that might get played is this Final Four. And
even one of them, Rose Bowl, is still going to be held in California with no fans. How are you going to have a Rose Bowl with no fans?
So let me go down some of the teams real quick before we move on. These are some of the arguments the teams have to stay in the bowl, stay in the championship. If Notre Dame loses, they've got 10 wins. They're about the only team on the board besides Coastal with 10 wins. Mm-hmm. And the only team they lost to was Clemson.
This is, I think, 5th year in a row Notre Dame has had.
How come that's a big deal for everybody? Why would anybody say that? I played 10 games. They played 5.
Right. If you're arguing,
Terry, I argued that when they first said that they were coming back in.
If your argument is that Indiana should be qualified and Ohio State shouldn't because they've played 2 more games, again, Clemson played Citadel this year, and they beat Georgia Tech 73-7. So Ohio State could play 2 games. Y'all would be happy as long as they played anybody.
Play anybody.
But listen, for the most part, we know.
That way you meet that criteria.
But why would you want to watch them
them
dog walk Gardner Webb? Because that's all they would do.
Kevin, for the most part, we know that the larger schools are going to have more success and probably win those games. But you did lose to Purdue 2 years ago, and it took you out. And what I mean by that is there was a larger possibility for error and loss for teams that played 10 to 11 games there, and there was for somebody that played 6 games.
I understand all that, but your point is they should play one more. I guess what your limit is they have to play one more game.
No, I would have appreciated
but that's fine.
I would have appreciated it if every team played 10 games.
To the conference championship, they were going to have another game anyway.
Right. So let's say they don't. Let's say if they did play those 3 extra games that got canceled, they would have had to lose 2 of them not to make the conference championship game out of those 3, right? Because they've already beat Indiana, so they got the tiebreaker, meaning they would have to lose 2 of those 3 games not to even go to the conference championship game. So let's say they win and make the conference championship game, which means they go 2-3. So now you're sitting there at 1 loss. Then you'd have to lose that game. If they won that game, everybody would say, well, Ohio State's in. So no matter what, in any scenario, Ohio State would have to lose 2 out of 3 or 2 out of 4, including the championship game, for them not to be in the Final Four.
I disagree.
They would be in the Final Four no matter what. If they lose 2 out of the next 4 games.
If they had 1 loss, the committee would lick their lips looking at Texas A&M, and if Florida, Alabama
Why
goes.
do you keep talking about Texas A&M? Texas A&M got
They've already got beat.
stomped by Alabama.
Right.
The number one
they've already got
team in the
beat.
nation.
They're out. They're out. Texas A&M
Does the
number one team in the nation.
Tell me this: does college football not love the SEC more? That they've had 2 SEC teams in the
Ohio
past 4
State,
years
who struggled to beat Indiana, a 1-year team.
Indiana's right.
A 1-year team. They was nothing last year.
Are they a top 10
team? They a team this year, then they won't be nothing next year.
They a team this year, and that's when they played them. This year.
You know what I'm saying?
That's when they played them, Terry.
This is what's going to happen.
Indiana. We're not talking about Indiana 5 years
ago. Just like I
ago.
said last night, if they played the Fighting Irish, they get beat by 15. If they play Clemson, they get beat by 20. If you play Alabama, y'all just get destroyed by 35.
Destroyed. No, I don't think so, Terry. We got too much
not
offense.
That good.
That's why they don't. Then why does Dabo care if we make the playoff or not?
Yeah.
Then why does Dabo care if we're not that good, Terry? Why does he care so much?
Because
he don't want to get beat.
Dabo,
he knows the refs helped him out last year. They might not help him out this year.
What he's arguing with, follow me here. If Notre Dame's really good, okay, and they beat Clemson, his argument is that Clemson still deserves to be in.
Correct.
2 losses.
Yes.
Instead of Ohio State.
Yes.
He's not caring about Cincinnati.
Texas
He's not
A&M,
caring about
like he
Texas
cares
A&M or
about
Florida
that.
or
Yeah.
Coastal.
Oh, I'll
He
tell
don't
you
care
what.
about any of those.
You keep
He's thinking-
saying who cares about Texas A&M? If Notre Dame beats Clemson, guess what? Texas A&M is in that playoff.
They're in.
Here's what Clemson
They are in
does.
that
Wait a minute.
playoff.
You telling me if Clemson beats Notre Dame?
No, I said
No,
Notre Dame
Notre Dame
beats
beats
Clemson
Clemson.
again
Notre
in
Dame
the
beats
ACC.
Clemson. I guarantee they'll still put Clemson.
Right. So because this is what
Then
Dabo's argument's
anarchy.
going to be. Here's what Dabo's argument's going to be. First game with them don't count. We got beat by them.
Yeah.
We got beat by Notre Dame, and that should be. But people are going to say you got beat by them twice, which everyone should agree. But that's going to be his argument, whether it's right and they listen to it or not. Hunter, I don't know. I'm just telling you what he's setting up, and I'm not saying he's right, wrong. Dabo's setting up. We've got really one loss. Ohio State only played 6 games.
Right.
Coastal's not that good. What about Iowa State sitting there at 8-2? If they win their conference, okay.
They got beat by Louisiana.
Iowa State shouldn't ever even think about.
What I'm saying is who deserves, not best, and that's always been the worst. What for me is talking about college football is there's an argument of who's the best team as opposed to who deserves to be there, and that's 2 totally different arguments. Coastal Carolina, you might not think they're as good as Georgia, but do they not deserve to be there more than Georgia would this year?
This year? Absolutely.
Yes.
But Georgia might beat
To
the crap
me,
out of them on the field.
The 4
But what
teams
I'm saying
in
is
front of
Coastal
Cincinnati
deserves.
do not deserve to be there because on paper, Cincinnati has done everything that they needed to do, and they're blemishless.
Well, this is the reason why we need to expand the playoff.
Right.
Well, I agree with that. 100%.
So the rankings right now are 1 Notre Dame, 1 Alabama, 2 Notre Dame, 3 Clemson, 4 Ohio State, 5 Texas A&M, 6 Florida, 7 Iowa State, 8 Cincinnati, and 9 Georgia. Miami at 10. Coastal's 13th in the college.
All they done was swap spots.
Football rankings.
That's all they done. Coastal fell up, and BYU fell down into their spot.
Is that
It's
what they
about
did?
what they did. They
Wait,
just
where is
jumped
Coastal
each
now?
other.
11th? On that
13th.
just on
What I don't understand
They're 11th in the AP, 13th in the college
why
football
did
rankings.
BYU make Coastal come to them? That's what I don't understand.
You mean Coastal made them come to Coastal?
I
They
mean,
came to
why
Coastal.
didn't BYU make Coastal come to?
Probably might have been terms of agreement.
Yeah.
They probably
They played in
Coastal probably
Coastal.
was like,
That's what I'm saying. But why didn't BYU
Oh, why
make Coastal?
didn't? I'm
yeah,
sorry, I
why,
can't
why
hear
didn't
you.
they
I
make?
think Coastal's the one that threw it out there for them to come play them.
BYU needed it more.
Yeah.
because
So
Coastal
Coastal
was just
come to
like,
us.
Coastal,
You need it more
man,
because they were already ranked in the
Yeah.
top
It's
10.
usually the more recognized school hosts
usually
that game.
Usually.
That's unusual for them to go down there and play them.
Well, I want to tell you something about that game right there. If when you first started watching it, it showed Coastal brought force, power. They scared that quarterback to death for BYU. He even got dadgum swarm tackled on a.
I couldn't believe how competitive Coastal was, and they were so outsized. Like if you looked at that game and you watched the Coastal players
Low man
walk
wins.
by, I'm just telling you though.
Yeah.
But those Coastal kids are scrappy.
Low man wins.
And if you listen to their coach, I do like I like
No,
their
this
coach.
is-
I like his attitude. I mean, he kind of reminds me of Coach Pruitt. He's very matter of fact. He's not a whiner. He's not a complainer. It is what it is, and he just prepares to
They
take care of his
hustled
business.
BYU altogether.
Besides Coastal just beating BYU in general, I was just surprised that they ran for so many yards and didn't throw it hardly. Coastal just ran it right down their throat the whole time.
Seemed like remember that game. Seemed like their quarterback's pretty mobile. Coastal's
garbage.
quarterback is pretty good.
He's garbage.
Yeah. Well, no, I thought it was pretty good.
all right. So if me and Hunter was in charge of it, folks, here's would be the matchups. 1 versus 16 would be Alabama, BYU. BYU's ranked 18th in the rankings, in the college bowl rankings. In the bottom corner, if you're watching online, this is mine and Hunter's matchups. Oh, they would be playing the winner of Oklahoma versus Northwestern. That'd be an 11-14 matchup on rankings. Buffalo would be playing Iowa State. The Chanticleers would be going to USC. The winner of those would play each other. Notre Dame would be hosting San Jose State. Florida hosting Washington. And Ohio State would be hosting Marshall. And Clemson hosting Clemson. If Hunter and I ruled the
How's
world.
Marshall still in it when they got
wait a
beat by
minute, hold
Still
up
the
a
champion
second.
of their.
That's what
of
y'all's
their-
would be.
Yeah.
You got Cincinnati unbeaten playing one loss Clemson, and then we got Buffalo playing Iowa State. Now that just don't look right.
Well, that's just where
Cincinnati needs to be over yonder playing Iowa
Golly.
State. Buffalo needs to be playing
How
Clemson.
hard is it just to understand these are pre-seeded spots.
Like the NFL.
This
Terry.
isn't hard.
It's like the NFL.
This isn't hard. It's preseason
you win,
spots.
just like the Giants are going to get the
College
host
football
of playoff
fans
game.
cannot wrap their hands
Lord.
around pre-seeded, like automatic
You win your
bid
conference,
spots.
you go.
If you're winner of if you're in the top.
Tom, y'all got a chance in this one playing Marshall.
Yeah, they do. First round. All right. Now, JP, where you at? We got to take a break. Is he up in there?
Yeah, he's there.
Give me a thumbs up. All right, JP, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to do bad picks for everybody, and then we're going to make some more bad picks. So JP's going to take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes on KTC.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could go look at a new car or truck and you didn't have to worry about getting caught up in those games that waste half your day? Well, Friendship Nissan and Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City is different because we're fast, easy, and transparent. We have over 300 new and used vehicles on the ground with clear choice pricing and the region's only non-commissioned sales force, and a free lifetime warranty on every new car. You better believe Friendship Nissan and Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram is different, and you can find us in Forest City.
Don't miss the Golf Shop Radio Show this Wednesday from 11 to 12, presented by GolfKnickers.com, the leader in traditional golf apparel. Mark Greenheld and Matt Blanchard go from tee to green and everything in between. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
Wednesday mornings at 11 o'clock on Carolina Country, WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com. Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain wishes you an extra Merry Christmas, full of laughter, love, and fun. That's what they wish for each and every one of you. Christmas is a beautiful time for the joy of sharing, for the hope of peace, and the remembering special clients like you. We wish you a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas to all of you from everyone at Hometown Hardware, 110 South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain. It's time to shop and save for Christmas at Kurt's Premium Outlet in Eastridge Mall in Gastonia. Fill up your sleigh with big savings, like Disney comforters, starting at $22. Sharper Image wireless headphones are $14.25. Heated bamboo socks are $7.50. Four Seasons conventional green antifreeze, $5 a gallon. Nice throw pillows are $6.75. And all clothing and shoes are 60% off the ticketed price at Kurt's Premium Outlet, North New Hope Road, Gastonia, and Eastridge Mall. Like them on Facebook, too.
Take advantage of a special offer on the versatile Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor. Switching attachments is simple, and a smooth hydrostatic transmission makes for easy operation. The Kubota BX Series, the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. for over 10 years. You own the land. Now, make it yours. Get the Kubota BX 2380 for payments as low as $99 a month.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive, off Highway 74 at Oak Grove Road, Kings Mountain. We wish you a festive holiday season and a very happy new year. This wish from everyone at Vicky Sperling Real Estate in downtown Cherryville. Peace on earth will come to stay when we live Christmas every day. We wish you peace, love, and harmony. May love fill your home with blessings too. Merry Christmas from everyone at Vicky Sperling Real Estate, 211 East Main Street in downtown Cherryville.
And we're back on Saturday morning sports talk. It's time for bad picks.
Well,
it is time.
Hey, give me a sec to set it up. I was too busy yapping my mouth on
It
the
is
break.
time for bad picks.
But Hunter, while I'm doing that, what I want you to do, you can complain a little bit if you want about Coach K and his complaints this week. You got the Alabama coach. You want to kind of give an update on what's going on there?
So Coach K and the Duke Blue Devils have decided that they are no longer going to play any non-conference games. Well, big whoop-de-doo. I'm pretty sure they're the only school that I've seen decide that in college basketball. And he come out and he basically had a whole, I think it was a 1.5 minute video explaining why, for the safety of the kids. And, and around Christmas time, we're going to let them go home. Oh, you're going to let them go home. Oh, we're going to let them go home and be with their families during this really tough time. I thought universities really didn't want their students going home because of the virus.
Coach K's full of crap.
Yeah, he is full of crap. And so the Alabama head basketball coach was asked about this and just really what his thoughts were, and he had the best first part of the answer. The rest, you can watch the full interview somewhere online, but he looked at the reporter dead in the eye and said, if Coach K doesn't lose those 2 non-conference games, do you think he cancels The reporter says no, and he said, "You said it, not me."
Yeah.
The people understand.
Yeah.
It's not black. It's not. You're not fooling nobody, Coach K.
And he's
and you lost both of them at home.
And they never show him dropping F-bombs and cussing out officials and cussing out the other coach and all the other horrible stuff that Coach K does.
So what they do at Duke is the schedule is they don't play out of conference road games. On average, every year they used to play one, maybe two tops, and then he turned those games into neutral site games for the most part, and then every now and then they'll play one actual at someone else's, at an opponent's court, and they just don't do it. So over his 1,000-something wins, Terry, he's got 274 non-conference home games. So how many of those are tough games that he's scheduled at home, non-conference? Me and Hunter was doing the math on it. He's probably got 350 wins against just nothing but cupcakes, non-conference cupcakes, either in first rounds of tournaments or in preseason things, just whatever, and just hundreds and hundreds of wins. Here's their record at home since 1983, non-conference, 274-5. 274-5. And
two of those losses came this year.
Now I've got it on my I've got it on my old phone
against Illinois and Michigan State.
I'd say the Illinois team looked pretty good.
Yeah. I've got it on my old phone, not this one, and I meant to look it up, but he does have a losing record, I think, on the road non-conference games. Like it's not even it's not even good. It's not like we're 15-5.
And so he must have had a premonition. He said, "Wait a minute, we must actually be bad this year because we lost those two non-conference games at home."
They're not bad. They're just not elite. I mean, they're not. I mean, and
they're a 6th or 7th place team in the ACC, probably.
And they had a hard time defending the three. That's one thing that I've seen in Carolina and Duke, and what I've watched is neither team defends the three very well.
Nah, no.
I mean, Illinois can get out. Illinois can get out and run.
I'll say this in that Iowa North Carolina game.
They're very
but if you told me I was about to come out here and go like 17 for 30 from the 3-point line, I'm like, we called it.
Do you remember this? Do you remember the teams that beat them?
Yes.
Do y'all name the 5 teams the 5 losses they've had at home? 2 of them are Illinois.
Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah.
Stephen F. Austin. You just said another one this year.
Illinois and the other one, Michigan State.
Michigan and Michigan State. And St. John's are the 5 teams that's went into
real teams. And real teams usually beat them.
Right. So that's K's.
Stephen F. Austin game was last year too.
Yeah, that was a steal.
But I'm telling you, the reason why Iowa shot all those 3 is they know that Carolina does not defend it well.
Anybody that can do it, that's your game plan against us.
All right, so folks, we like to do it's called bad picks, and we like to admit when we're wrong. I've got a list here of 10 games it looks like that we had on the misses. Now, folks, missing a pick is, none of us are Nostradamus or the Oracle of Delphi.
And it's hard to watch, especially the college picks.
How many sports shows bring up the Oracle of Delphi, by the way?
Not many.
Not many. We like to, the funny part of them is, like Hunter said last week or the week before, you got to have confidence in your picks.
You got to have confidence.
And you guys got some confidence in some of these things, and it's just...
Terry's in a league of his own.
It's funny. Now Tom...
Terry's in a league of his own.
Tom, you're the one that sets out there and says, well, now look at you and say, yeah, make sure we write that down.
So whatever...
You're not always right on that.
There's a lot of those on this week's. So it's pretty fun. This week's one is funny.
I had a bad week.
There's a lot of...
I did have, but there's a lot of close games.
There's a lot of finger pointing. Hunter, you had the worst pick of the week.
Which one was
Completely missed.
What?
Rice and Marshall.
I did. I admit it.
Do you remember what you said about it?
I said they covered.
Oh,
the 20.
Wait till you listen to exactly what he said. It was hilarious.
Hunter, you got to tell me Hunter Yancey thought the Marshall quarterback was going to throw 5 interceptions in the same game.
That.
Come on.
Just wait to see what he says.
That was a fluke.
He said the opposite of what happened. Yeah, it was 20-0.
What? Yeah. It was a fluke.
They got shut
Marshall
out.
was favored by 22. Hunter's like, they'll cover.
That ain't got anything to do with all that.
They should have.
They should.
45 interceptions.
Listen, you play that game 10 times. Marshall wins 9 out of the 10 times.
That's the
worst. But that one time that he wants to go out there and throw 5 picks.
Tom, Come on, Hunter, you got shut out.
One of you had Washington over Stanford. I think it was Tom.
Let's just get to it.
I know Tom had Oregon over California, Oklahoma State over TCU.
You're the one told me never take California.
Now,
in a
Tom,
game.
I will say I warned you on that Oklahoma State pick. It was tough at TCU.
They should have won the game. They were leading the whole freaking game.
I warned you.
Hunter and Tom dropped the ball on the Coastal Carolina. Terry, go Chick.
Terry only picks it because it's a Southern team.
No, I don't
That's the only reason why. It's a Southern team. That's the only reason why.
Last week,
even though he pulls for Boston,
I don't even want to hear that.
He pulls for Boston and Kansas City. But if it's a Southern football team,
I had to
picks.
tell you about your own conference.
If they win, I knew about my own
when
conference.
You sat there and said, Wisconsin beat Indiana, and I said, Indiana's defense is pretty good.
I tell you, Wisconsin has crapped the bed. I mean, they are better than what they've played. God almighty.
In the NFL, Terry had Bears over Lions. I think Tom had 49ers over Bills. Seahawks over Giants was one. Tom, that one, you had a fun comment on that one. Of course, Pittsburgh and Washington was a fun comment.
Russell Wilson.
And then Terry, you guys on the Browns over Titans pick. So we're gonna show those folks. If you're listening on the radio, enjoy. If you're watching online, you get to see our wonderful faces and our reactions to this actually. So we'll be let's see. Let me make sure I got this. Yep. All right. Here we go. Bad picks from last week.
Bad picks.
And I actually watched the play from the Cal Stanford game again. I don't know how I got to watching that, and that should inspire me to pick California, but I'm not. Oregon's going to get it together and win this game. They're going to go down there and put the Bears in the bear trap.
Every time Tom says something like that, bet on the other team. Bears by 2.
Or when he starts talking and it's a long conversation.
It gets long. We're doing metaphors. This is how you miss a pick, folks. Right?
No. I commend it. You gotta be strong with it.
And then every time he says that,
I commend it. You gotta be strong with it.
Well,
he took Oregon. I would have taken Oregon.
California wins 21-17 over Oregon.
Bad picks.
I've got faith in Ben
Oh
Gundy.
God, here you go. If it's a long
Gundy,
talk, you're gonna lose.
I got faith in Gundy.
You believe in the mullet.
He's believe in the mullet. I do. They go there. They have to get a win. They're going to get a win today.
Bad pick, Tom. Bad pick.
TCU wins 29-22 over Oklahoma State.
Herd favored by 22 in West Virginia.
My God, and they cover.
And they, my God,
Marshall, and they cover.
We're going to cut that one, too.
Marshall, and they cover. 22.
If it's a close game, I'm cutting that one. Because you said, my God, they cover.
My God, they cover.
Rice wins 20-0 over Marshall.
Washington favored by 11.5 in Seattle, Terry.
Yeah, Washington, easy.
Stanford wins 31-26 over Washington.
Bad picks.
Terry, Bills at 49ers. 49ers favored by 1.
49ers win.
Hey.
Bills win 34-24 over the 49ers.
Maybe another easy one. We'll see. Washington at Steelers.
That's the easy one.
Monday night at 5
As much as I hate the Steelers,
Not so fast.
They'll beat the Maryland or the DC metro area.
Not so fast.
Washington wins 23-17 over the Steelers.
Bad picks.
Giants at the Seahawks?
Yes. No Daniel
Are you kidding
Jones.
me?
No Daniel
The
Jones.
Giants. The Giants are going to be turned into midgets.
Giants win 17-12 over the Seahawks.
Do the Brownies beat the Titans? This is a possible playoff matchup for both teams in Tennessee.
No. I think the Titans at home are going to win this.
5.5 is the spread.
Good pick, Connor. Good
Listen.
Cleveland Browns win 41-35 over the Titans.
Bad picks.
Bears favored by 3.
And you take the Bears. They're playing at home.
Trubisky is playing again.
Yeah, it'll be over.
Never bet.
Lions win 34-30 over the Bears.
So if I'm wrong, if Costa wins, congratulations. You're still having one hell of a year. That's exactly how I look at it.
They're not going to win.
I think BYU wins. They've got the biggest win margin, points margin in America.
I've already said the chickens are getting bluffed today.
And Coastal, I forget. You did say that.
They took Coastal.
Okay.
Coastal Carolina wins 22-17 over BYU.
Those are some bad picks.
Every time Tom makes a metaphor,
Yeah.
every time a bear gets hugged,
Yeah.
a giant gets turned into a midget, or a chicken gets plucked, bet the other side.
This is for Vegas.
No,
Anybody
because
that
I
doesn't-
said
take it to the bank.
I said that the Saints would march into Atlanta and burn it.
Okay, you
Which they
did.
did.
You did like Sherman.
They did, like Sherman, I did. So
Well,
Well, one out of your three metaphors hit. I mean,
No, Tom, you're bad when you start talking and it's a long conversation of what's going to happen in a game. Pick the other.
don't talk about my long conversations.
Pick the other.
all right,
Don't
JP.
talk about mine.
they're not going to
You're
run
worse
on us,
than me.
Tom. They're not going to run on us.
JP, you ready for a break?
Yeah. I remember that thing. Ain't gonna run on us.
All right, we'll take a quick break after we get settled over on our bad picks. We're going to make some more of our own. We got college football picks up next, and NFL, and then a little bit more to finish the show on KTC Broadcasting.
When is being different a good thing? Well, at Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City, our customers say we're different. Look at our Google reviews. They say we're different too. We have the region's only non-commissioned sales force. We use no haggle, clear choice pricing, and we have the only lifetime warranty with no time or mileage limits. When our customers leave, they say, "That was a great experience." And that's where we're most different. That's Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram, and we're located in Forest City.
We're ready to hit the road for the holidays. Are you? With Red Roof Ready Clean, we promise to provide you a clean and safe stay along the way. Plus, a portion of your Red Roof stay is going to charities that benefit military members, children, and students. You'll get 15% off. We'll donate a portion of your stay to the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, Flying Horse Farms, and the Freedom Alliance. Now's the time for a holiday stay at Red Roof, a safe place to stay on the holiday road. Go to redroof.com for all the holiday offers.
May your gifts be many and your stresses be few. May your holiday be decorated with sparkles and spirits. This Christmas wish from everyone at Alray Tire in Shelby and Alray Tire in Cherryville. We wish you Merry Christmas with love from our house to yours, and we wish you the very best for the new year to come. This Christmas wish from Alray Tire, 401 East Main Street in Cherryville, and from Alray Tire, 327 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
Shopping for that special someone? Looking for something special and unique? Come to Cherryville's only boutique, Annalise Boutique in downtown Cherryville. Beautiful new and exciting clothing, jewelry, and accessories, plus special gift ideas too. Check out their bath soaps and specialty products with many new items arriving every day. Check their Facebook page for upcoming events. Annalise Boutique, 206 East Main Street in downtown Cherryville. Come shop today.
Carpet One Interiors in Gastonia wishes you and your family a joyous holiday season and a new year filled with happiness and hope for a world at peace. The best part of the season is remembering those who make this holiday special. We wish you and your family all the love and happiness this season can bring, and may it follow you throughout the coming new year. Merry Christmas to all from everyone at Carpet One Interiors, 2757 East Ozark Avenue in Gastonia.
The staff and management of Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville wishes you the happiest of holidays and a fantastic new year. May the wonder and magic of Christmas fill you with delight. We wish you love, happiness, and success in the coming new year. This Christmas wish from everyone at Carolina Federal Credit Union, 1200 East Church Street in Cherryville, and online at carolinafcu.org.
And we're back on Saturday morning sports talk. I believe they're doing the picks now.
Yes, we are doing college.
We're talking about working for free, JP. You like doing that?
Picks.
No.
No.
It's not even that. It's the principle of the thing, but that's a
pay
whole
him
other,
the big bucks in there.
that's a
don't you,
whole
buddy?
other concept. I'll go back to the post game show. I'll do the post game show again. I'll make a pot of coffee. My late great friend Steve Roberts. I remember when I did the post game show, and I would bring him some McDonald's coffee every now and then.
And that's what
my
he wanted.
God,
He
it was
wanted
the
everybody
best
to bring
thing in
him
the way.
some. He wanted everybody to bring him some
I think Steve started liking me once I started bringing him coffee because he
didn't
loved
like
coffee.
to the coffee.
First day that he was here and I did it for him, I went to McDonald's McDonald's and got him coffee.
Coffee, yeah, he loved McDonald's coffee. Yep.
Welcome back to the show. It's the Friendship Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Friendship Nissan Saturday morning sports talk show. Both of those located on Oak Street Extension up in Forest City. 190 for the Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. 156 at the Oak Street. Thomas Borgello and the gang. Get up there and see them today. Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Nissan's new. And I'm sure they got used of about everything.
Get you
in
a
the
new
world.
one for Christmas.
Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it? That'd make the year better, wouldn't it?
It would. Close out 2020 on a plus.
Well, I just talking about in a break. I guess we got to negotiate some announcers' fees, Tom. If what I was told is correct, we're overpaying you guys, is what I've been told.
Well, I will say this that I have told Kevin publicly and privately that KTC has always treated me well, and I appreciate it, and I just don't understand why somebody would think that I would sabotage my relationship with the radio station. So I just think it's ridiculous. So I'd like to reiterate, I appreciate the opportunity.
Yes,
if the opportunity's not there anymore, then opportunities come and go in your life. That's just the way it is. But I've had a good time. So if I'm not doing the announcements anymore, I'll find something else to do. And I just appreciate the last 5 years. I had a ball.
Well, we hope we'll be able to do what we can do. We don't know what we can and we'll be able to between health safety guidelines by the state and between schools doing their own things or doing certain things or allowing this, allowing that. We don't know per school, per state, per county, anything at this point. It's kind of a guessing game for us. It's tough for us. But you guys ready to make some bad picks? Get ready for the highlights next week.
Yeah,
I'm going to have something to do next Friday afternoon.
There's a big game today, too. Big game. I don't know if it has to be, it doesn't have college football playoff implications, but they always play hard. It's the Army-Navy game. That is today.
I just got a text from Coach Pruitt about they wanted to predict that one, him and his son Landry. Terry, who do you think Coach Pruitt and his son Landry are going to pick in the Navy-Army game?
It depends on
Army.
Yeah, but what's their family background?
What is his son's name, Tom?
Tell me again.
Landry.
Oh, Tom Landry.
Right. Follow the
Roger Staubach.
Yeah, there
Navy.
Go Navy, says the Pruitts.
I hate it when he does that though. He does his little second grade teacher voice. Tom
Fun.
Landry.
1 plus
I was trying to
1
walk you
equals.
into it.
I do have 2
Trying to walk you
master's
into it.
degree. I'm not completely stupid.
I didn't say you were. I was trying to walk you to it.
Well, almost 2 masters. I'm finishing up my last class.
So, all right. Well, Terry, I'm going to start with you. You had them last week. Alabama at Arkansas. Does Alabama cover 32 points spread?
It's like playing Ohio State, Alabama. Easy.
So he's got to pick if they cover. Well, so are they going to cover or not? Terry?
Yeah, they cover.
32.
Come
Arkansas
on.
has been playing pretty decent football.
Well, okay.
They've been
Put that on
competitive.
there next week.
All
too.
right, Tom. Georgia at Missouri. Missouri cracks the top 25. Georgia favored by 14 in Missouri.
See, but that's tough because Missouri's been playing better football.
They're 5-3 now.
And Georgia has sometimes played very, very good. Sometimes look very inept on offense.
Georgia
Don't talk to him like
has
that.
got, no, I'm just saying, Georgia's got the quarterback situation figured out.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
Okay, so but that's what I'm talking about. Their offense has been.
Oh,
yeah.
Lord, here we go.
So I'm going.
can agree.
Talking a while,
I'm going with Georgia, but I don't know if they cover because Missouri's been playing better football and they are at home. So I like it to be a competitive
I'll
game.
pull Corso. Good pick.
Good pick.
Good
pick.
Good pick.
Well, Landry says go Army, so they're arguing.
Okay.
Well, Dad's wearing a Staubach jersey, in a Navy Staubach jersey, and I'm guessing his son Landry does have an Army jersey on.
Well, a lot of times that's the background of your family. Were they Marines?
Right.
Were they soldiers? Which one?
Yeah. My family's Navy, so I'll pull.
Can I say this one time? But my daughter's boyfriend is in the Navy, and he said, quote, "The Navy owns the Marines." I was like, I tell you what, buddy. Don't say that in the Marine Corps. You that might not go well for you.
It's not going to go over.
That might not go well for you.
No.
Tom, the best boyfriend of a daughter a father could have for his daughter is one that's on a boat far away.
Yeah,
Georgia at Missouri. Tom, who'd you say?
I went with Georgia in a closer game,
and they do not cover. Okay,
I think Missouri will cover. It's 2 touchdowns. It's a lot of points.
Lordy,
Hunter, Utah, Colorado.
I like Colorado. Colorado is playing great football. If I'm not mistaken, right now, if the Pac-12 championship happened, it would be Colorado USC.
I noticed that
They're
too.
in the same division.
Oh, they're on the same side?
Yes,
they're
both undefeated.
Dude.
They're on the
That's
same side.
Wrong.
They'll have to play each other. They'll have to play each other anyway. So
do they have it set up that they have to play each other?
Yes.
Because think about it, they're only playing what 7 games in the Pac-12.
So.
It seems like they can kind of pick and choose.
Playing more than 5.
I'm not even going to respond.
They're
to
actually
that.
not.
I'm
They're only
done.
playing 6 or 5. They're only going to play 5. Colorado's only going to play 5.
I'm done responding.
And so this is it. Is their last game?
Yeah, they got it. They had the one with Arizona State canceled, and this will be the last game. They will not play USC. So the Pac-12 is out.
The Pac-12 is
why
done.
are they even? Should they even be in the rankings then?
No.
If you're not competing for the championship.
No. But I'm taking Colorado.
I was getting ready to say, make the pick.
Okay. Okay.
Listen to who's talking.
I have something worth listening to, unlike you, Terry, who just mumble incoherently.
But when he said he had something to listen to and talking about making the pick, he was referring to you. So he just took you both out with that one comment.
I'd like to think I'll have better picks.
Trust me, those mean texts are still in the back of my mind. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that right now.
All right, Tom.
Play somebody.
Illinois at Northwestern.
Oh, well, Northwestern wins and sets up the showdown next week. And let me tell you guys something. Everybody's just assuming that Ohio State's going to just cakewalk their way to the championship. They got to get by a well-coached Northwestern team in the championship game. So it's not a done deal yet.
Georgia played more ranked teams in 4 weeks than Ohio State will the whole season.
That's because of SEC bias. You're trying to tell me Texas A&M is good. Oh, my God.
Florida and Alabama.
Florida's got 2 players, Trask and Pitts, and that's it. That's all they got. They got nothing else.
All right, so
even North Carolina will play more ranked opponents than you this year
because the ACC and SEC is ESPN's little.
They play Notre Dame and they play Miami this weekend.
We can't help it. We're the stepchild of the media. It's not our fault.
So Terry, Rutgers at Maryland. Maryland favored by 6.5.
Yeah, Maryland wins. Playing at home.
Terrapins playing the Scarlet Knights.
Bad pick.
Tom, Nebraska host Minnesota.
They're not playing that game.
It's still on my thing.
I'm pretty sure that Minnesota's eat up.
Well, let me scroll down then. Michigan State at Penn State. Penn State Nittany Lions favored by 15.5 at Beaver Stadium.
Well, the quarterback situation. When I watched that Michigan State game last week, the backup came in and played pretty well. Lombardi, what a great name. Their starting quarterback, Michigan State, is Lombardi. Unfortunately, he plays more like, somebody whose daddy got him the quarterback position. But instead of being, a Lombardi, but I like
coach's son.
Yeah. But I like the kid I think the kid came in was from California or somewhere. Played really well last week
Still
for Michigan State.
Kyle Shanahan.
But I like Penn State. They've been playing better football there at home.
What is that?
Terry's figuring out his phone. It's only taken him 6 months to figure out.
He clicked the wrong button.
Terry, Wake Forest at Louisville, or is it Louisville?
Running back for Wake Forest opted out.
Yeah, he did opt out.
He's second in the ACC in rushing touchdown.
I don't blame the guys from opting out right now. I'm
Louisville's
not
not
getting my
neither.
knees tore up for a season that don't matter.
There's a whole team that canceled this week because their whole team opted out.
Well, this is a game here. Either one of them could lose because neither one of them's that good.
I actually can figure that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Wake Forest goes on the road and wins.
Okay, Demon Deacons.
Utah State, they cancel their game because players opt to sit out. I don't know what they're doing.
Hunter, I'm gonna give you another chance on Rice this week. Alabama Birmingham favored by 7
what a
at
game.
Rice.
But Rice is terrible.
They just
They're
smoked. Oh my God, they cover.
I don't think Alabama Birmingham's going to throw 5 picks.
No.
We're going to take UAB.
UAB
Go
on
Blazers.
the road.
Go Blazers.
Way to put him in a corner. I'm sure that Hunter's really been watching the film on UAB.
I watch a lot of UAB
way to
Rice.
paint him in a corner.
I watch a lot
He
of
painted
it.
himself in that corner with those comments.
Would you not have picked Marshall?
I would have.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, what? I'm not going to hold that.
Your picks isn't the issue. It's the, oh my God, they cover, and then they got beat 20-0.
Well, hey.
That's what
Terry believes that Alabama's going to cover, so I want this to happen next week.
They favored by 22, Hunter, so you only missed it by 45 points.
Okay.
Good job, Hunter.
Just that close.
Okay.
Western Michigan at Ball State, Tom. Even.
Why are we picking this game? Is Western Michigan, are they the Chippewas?
They're both 4-1.
Or are they the Chippewas?
I don't know.
I think they're the ones with the
They do got
mustache.
something weird on their
make a
on their
pick.
pick.
Well, I don't know anything about either one of these teams. Who's at home?
I just said Western Michigan.
Michigan at
Ball State.
Ball State.
Right. They're both 4-1.
So it should be a good game.
Let's go with Ball State.
You lost, Tom.
You don't know anything about those other teams either.
Western Michigan are the
will beat
Broncos, by the way.
Broncos.
He says Central Michigan are the Chippewas, Tom.
Central Michigan are the Chippewas.
Lordy, that's another
That's from
loss
Coach
for Tom.
Pruitt.
God almighty. Michigan. The state of
Not
Michigan.
so fast.
He made fun of me making you pick UAB Rice, then complained about Western Michigan Rice. I mean,
Why are we picking those
Ball State.
games? You said you were going to stick to the marquee games. You said you're going to stick to the marquee
I got
games.
nothing else to do. Buffalo, who's in the top 25 in one of the polls in the rankings, they're 4-0. Tom, I'll let you take this one.
All right.
For my roommate in college. The Buffalo Bulls are favored by 33 at home, hosting Akron Zips.
Yeah, the Zips they're going to get zip-lined. I don't even know what to say about the Zips.
Take the Zips. Take the Zips.
How do you even make that? I mean, it's Buffalo. Their running back will run all over them. He might have another 8-touchdown game.
All right, Terry, the Chanticleers in Troy. Chanticleers favored by 13.5.
Coastal Carolina.
That
Easy.
I don't think they cover.
They cover.
Hunter, what?
No.
Navy.
They're on a hang.
No, I think we all three of us should just say who we think because it's such a marquee game today. I'm going to take Army.
Go Navy.
I've always said Army.
Yeah. Army's got the better team.
They might win, but I said go Navy.
There
All
you
right,
go.
Tom, Central Michigan at Toledo. The Chippewas that you wanted to talk about a minute ago are at the Rockets. This is all up your alley in Ohio.
It's Maction, baby.
What's the spread?
At the Glass Bowl, Toledo's favored by 11.
Yeah, I like Toledo at home. They've usually got a pretty decent program up there. Kareem Hunt with Toledo.
Tom, I got to let you pick another one because these two are biased on this one. Tar Heels in Miami. Hurricanes favored by 3 at home.
That will be
I'm not biased.
It is 75 degrees.
75 degrees. Hurricanes at home. I think the Hurricanes are going to blow away the Tar Heels. I think it's going to be
Not so fast.
Wait a minute.
I think at
How
home.
come Miami's never been considered for the national championship?
Because Clemson dog walked
They're
them,
only
Terry.
one loss.
Terry. Do you pay attention to what
Maybe
happens
they should
when
be up
these
there.
teams play?
If Clemson beats Notre Dame, who should be ranked higher, Notre Dame or Miami?
Well, should be Miami.
All right, just wondering. Hunter, Wisconsin at Iowa. Wisconsin's favored by 2.
I've watched Wisconsin play a couple of times this year. They really do not look that good. I think them having to deal with the coronavirus for as long as they did. I think they're kind of just behind the 8 ball. I'm going to take Iowa.
It's rainy and 32 degrees in Iowa City. Terry, Oklahoma.
Wait, that's in Iowa and Wisconsin was favored?
Yeah. That's
Wow.
what I said.
What?
No,
Why?
Wisconsin favored on the road at the 16th team in the nation.
Why? Like, they're not that good.
They've
Quit hanging
struggled
on to
offensively. The
quit hanging
quarterback-
on to
the
Wisconsin from last year.
The quarterback-
Wisconsin from everything. You're talking about the Big Ten. Come
Vegas
on.
has done pretty well. All right. We've got Terry, Oklahoma State at Baylor. Oklahoma State favored by 5.5 in Waco.
Ooh. Well,
Oklahoma State 6-3, Baylor 2-6.
Oklahoma State's got a good defense, Terry. Got a good defense.
Yeah, Oklahoma State will win.
I was say Baylor really. They have to redo a whole coaching staff. Matt Rule basically took everybody.
Yeah.
Hunter, Houston at Memphis. Houston favored by 5. at Memphis Tigers.
Both these teams are pretty decent, though. I'm going to take Memphis at home.
The Blue Tigers. Tommy, give you a chance here. California at Washington State. Washington State is not favored. It's California favored by 1.
Is this another bear trap?
I tell you what, how do I always get the California game? Every time. California's like Illinois. Every time I pick the California game, it's wrong. Okay, Golden Bears, I watched you last week. I watched that game. Because of this show, I have to watch a lot of games that I would not watch. I watched the Michigan Rutgers game to 12:30 just so I wouldn't have to hear him on bad picks, which is ridiculous. Okay, California. Okay, I know you're liberal out there, and the whole team was probably out partying and having a good time. But I think you're going to go up to Washington State. You're going to get some apple cider instead of liquor. And you're going to beat the Cougars.
Take Washington State.
Yeah, that was long. Those metaphors.
I think what it is. I
Bet
think,
on the Cougars.
I think they're gonna have apple cider instead of going out to the bars, and they're gonna beat
Washington State wins by 14.
No, I watched them last week, and they played well. They didn't waver. They made stops when they had to. I like California.
Terry, big game in held this weekend, or you can call it the state of Tennessee. Vols at Commodores. Vols favored by 14.5.
Tennessee.
At the Commodores.
How the hell are they favored that much?
Is Vanderbilt going to start a girl at quarterback this week?
They might.
They might.
They need anything
Tennessee.
for publicity.
Yeah.
She got Player of the Week for squib kicking the ball.
Yeah.
Did she get that?
They gave her Player of the Week. Special Teams Player of the Week. All right, Hunter. Boise State at Wyoming.
Boise State.
Tom, big matchup. Duke and Florida State. Florida State favored by 3.5 in Doak Campbell today.
This is two bad teams. I like Florida State though. I think they'll get it done.
Did Florida State beat Carolina?
Yeah, then they Duke got destroyed last week.
Terry, the Mountaineers go to Georgia Southern, Statesboro, Georgia. They always have problems with these boys. 9.5 point favorites for the Mountaineers. Does the quarterback choke another one away today in Georgia?
Yeah, everybody at this start of the year had a lot for Appalachian to do, but they have a hard time with Georgia Southern.
Mm-hmm.
And you're playing at Georgia Southern. Appalachian comes back a loser.
Yeah, I would have taken Georgia Southern too. I watched that game against Louisiana. Hap really didn't look good.
Louisiana couldn't even snap the ball.
I know, and they still beat them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get Hunter on something this week. Hunter, LSU at Florida.
Oh my God.
Florida by
23.5.
LSU has self-imposed sanctions on themselves, and
wouldn't you?
I think, yeah. Well,
what they do? I missed that story. What they do?
I can't remember exactly what it is, but they're basically imposing a postseason ban on themselves.
Wouldn't you do it this year?
That's what I'm saying. It's a bad year.
No, it ain't the point of all of that being a bad year. You can be 1-10, and a bowl asks you to come, and you can self-impose yourself this year. You can be 1-10, and they can take you.
I'm going to say Florida, but yeah, I think Florida covers. Florida's dang good.
Terry, Louisiana Tech at TCU. TCU favored by 21.
TCU.
TCU.
Tom, USC at UCLA, the Alphabet Bowl. 3.5 for the Trojans are favored on the road.
USC beat them 4 out of 5.
I was just about to say that, Terry.
Yeah.
That Southern Cal has dominated in this series, so I think the Trojans, they're going to go in, invade, and hunt some bears. The Bruins like a little bear, isn't it?
Well, then
They're
there's
like
no
mini
Troy
bears.
Aikman there.
There's no Troy Aikman.
Hunter, Auburn at
but they're like
Mississippi
little
State.
bears, so I like USC.
Tigers favored by 6.5.
They should be. I'm going to take Auburn.
All right. Terry, Cavaliers and Hokies, the Battle of Virginia.
Virginia Tech. They won't blow this one.
Hokies are favored by 3.
Yeah.
Where's that game being played?
Home. I mean, home.
Blacksburg.
Does
home for the
Virginia
Hokies.
Tech ever play a road game?
Doesn't seem like
I
it.
mean, it doesn't seem like it.
Not this year, at least.
Hunter, San Diego State at BYU. BYU favored by 17.
Yeah, I think BYU bounces back.
Tom, Stanford at Oregon State. Cardinal favored by 2.5. in Corvallis.
You're just getting all the Pac-12 games.
I tell you what, Oregon State does play well at home. I like Oregon State here in a mild upset.
Stanford wins.
I didn't make an analogy.
Okay.
Only 2 games left. Terry, Fresno State at New Mexico.
Oh, Lord.
Fresno State favored by 13.
Yeah, I'm going to go
Why
Fresno
are they playing in
State.
Las Vegas?
Because you can't play in California.
Yep.
There you go. And Hunter, last one, UNLV at Hawaii.
UNLV traveling to Hawaii. Hawaii should win.
Hawaii is favored by 19. UNLV is 0-5.
Yeah, I didn't.
Hey, the Ohio State.
I wonder if that's the Cocaine Express.
At least they
The
played
0-5 UNLV football team. Oh, yeah, they're taking it serious. We'll be back in a few minutes, JP, on KTCBroadcasting.com.
You know, we always tell our kids that there's no such thing as a money tree. But did you know at Friendship Nissan in Forest City, we kind of do have a money tree? Our money tree gives a $500 better price on any new Nissan, and that's a $500 guarantee that we put in writing. We have no haggle clear choice pricing, the region's only non-commissioned sales force, and we have the only lifetime warranty with no time or mileage limits. So you see, at Friendship Nissan, we kind of do have a money tree, and we're located in Forest City.
Unlock rebates of up to $1,700 with KitchenAid appliances from Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. Or bring home innovation and receive up to $2,000 in rebates when you purchase select GE Profile appliance packages. Now those are 2 great deals. Tired of shopping? Then relax with your new Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress set. Buy now and save up to $500. See Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Family owned and operated since 1977. Online at HendrickAppliance.com and see their page at WhatsAppShopper.com. Looking for a new car? Maybe a pre-owned car or truck, or maybe an SUV? Then let your fingers do the walking and go to WhatsAppShopper.com. Local dealers with local vehicles. You don't have to drive all over the country. Just click on WhatsAppShopper.com and take a look at the local selection of cars, trucks, SUVs, and more from local dealers in Gaston, Cleveland, and Lincoln counties. Car shopping just got easier by going to WhatsAppShopper.com. Pick yours out today.
The time for celebration and gathering is about to begin. It's time to prepare yourself to embrace the best time of year. We wish you a Merry Christmas from everyone at R&M Motors in Cherryville. May you be showered with unlimited blessings during this holiday season. We wish you a blessed gift of hope and love. Best wishes for a festive holiday season. Merry Christmas to all from R&M Motors, 7300 Dallas Cherryville Highway in Cherryville. Call 704-445-0103 and like them on Facebook too. Christmas time is a great time to reach out to friends and let them know you care about them. Everyone at Dellinger's Electric in Cherryville brings you good wishes throughout this Christmas season and for the new year. Best wishes for a Merry Christmas and a magnificent New Year to you and your family. This from everyone at Dellinger's Electric, 300 Main Street in Cherryville. Call 704-435-0705.
All Ray Tire in Shelby and All Ray Tire in Cherryville are moving together to bring you the best deals possible on your set of new tires. Now, for a limited time, buy any set of 4 new Nitto, Toyo, Pirelli, Cooper, or Nexon passenger or light truck tires and get up to a $70 MasterCard prepaid card. Coming out for all the details. That's All Ray Tire, located at 401 East Main Street in Cherryville, and All Ray Tire at 327 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with the guys.
Welcome back, JP. Good morning.
Morning.
Tanner, how's it going in there, boss? Get you on the mic. Let's hear Tanner for a minute. So how's it going in there, Tanner?
It's going good.
So you got any thoughts on what we've talked about this morning? Anything you just want to sit on the edge of your seat and
any
and
bad
say
picks
something?
that you think are going to happen?
I don't really have any bad picks, but with the college playoffs, what they should do with college playoffs is change it to like how March Madness is.
Just well, you could do like high school, have eight teams in the conference play 7, and then nothing but playoff games from there.
How many teams should be in the playoff? Tanner?
How many teams in the playoffs, Tanner?
6.
I like that number.
All right. So I had a question from someone, from Coach Pruitt, about the Rose Bowl contingencies. So I just read up on it. That there's basically a couple of options right now. They're trying to host it without fans, period, if the state will let them. They're trying to get the state to let them host it and allow family members.
I'd move it.
And then the other one is to move it to Cowboys Stadium. Texas A&M is talking about moving the Rose Bowl there. Semifinal game moving to Indianapolis or Atlanta for that. So the Rose Bowl can keep its name. So
I mean, you got these major games, and for there to be no fans there, that'd be a travesty. I mean, even the World Series at least had fans there. You're talking about a major championship. The only one that didn't was the NBA, but that's because everybody was confined.
Yeah.
But it's a difference between an indoor and an outdoor venue.
So NFL time, we got some picks and news and notes and stuff to go over and talk about this week. And Terry doesn't like my rankings, but I'm going to give you guys my rankings. Each week I kick a team out. This is called the Super Bowl Contender Poll. And if I do not think you have the chance to win the Super Bowl, I will kick you out of the poll. And we kick one team out every week. To start the season, I always kick out the Detroit Lions before the season starts, Tom. That's just been a tradition here on the KDC Broadcasting Super Bowl Power Poll. So they're out. We know they're not going to win it no matter what. The Detroit Lions, goodbye. But we've also got rid of the Jets, 49ers, Broncos, Texans, Falcons, Jaguars, Bengals, Chargers, Panthers, Cowboys, Eagles, Bears this week, and the Washington team. Hunter, I did see a complaint that someone had about the Washington team. And not only do you not have a nickname, your first name is Washington right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't specify
if it's
the state or
the
DC.
Yeah, I know.
So it's just total insanity and confusion.
Listen, we're fine.
They're fine. So right now, looking in the NFC, in the playoffs, you guys are tied at 5-7 with the New York Giants, although they've beat you twice. You look like you, of course, you get with a good defense, and they have Barkley out, Daniel Jones out. Maybe they'll come. Who knows what they're going to do health-wise, but health-wise, y'all look like y'all should be the favorite going forward in the East.
All we have to do in these next 4 games is go 3-1. And the Giants go 2-2.
Tom, they're a 5-7 football team,
and we got. And
all they got to do is go 3-1.
That's it. We got to go 3-1, and we're in. And all the Giants got to do is go 2-2.
The Giants are better than their 5-7 record defensively. They're pretty good now.
What's going to be their downfall is however long Daniel Jones is out. Yeah. Because I don't.
He's back this week.
No, he's questionable with a hamstring.
Colt McCoy just beat the Seahawks.
Yeah, he did.
Colt McCoy did not beat the Seahawks.
That defense.
Former
quarterback.
Washington
That defense.
of DC.
Listen, I'll tell you what.
Former Cleveland Browns.
Listen, Colt McCoy and Alfred Morris were both on the field for the Giants. And Alfred Morris not only went from Washington to Dallas to now the Giants. He's just going to go to the Eagles
what's hurt
next.
Washington is Gibson's out. That's going to
He's not going to play. Yeah, he's not playing this week because of turf toe.
I'd say tape it up.
Well, Hunter,
I'm fine with this though. I think we can beat the 49ers. I think we can. I'm not going to say we will, but I think we can.
So one of the rumors I saw them yesterday is that, I'll see what you think. Do the Redskins entertain Cam Newton?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
He's washed.
He had 66 passing yards against the Chargers.
69.
69. Is that what he had?
Yeah. There was a bunch of jokes about that, obviously. But
okay.
They had he's had 80-something, 69, and 109 in the last 3 weeks.
The Rams made him look like a joke. But the Rams also have first or second best defense in the league.
Better not sleep on the Rams. They're a contender. They're getting it together. I listened to that Arizona game there, and of course I picked Arizona. I can't believe I didn't get on bad picks, but Arizona,
Did I miss one?
Arizona is struggling now, and I think teams have begun to figure out Kyle Murray a little bit, so he's going to have to adjust. But they still have a shot to get to the playoffs, but it's much more complex.
I think this year
they're done.
They're not
in
done,
the NFC. Anybody can make it to the Super Bowl. In the AFC, I still think it's the Chiefs and everybody else is playing catch up.
No, The Steelers are good enough to beat them.
Tom, you tried to say that last week, and I said, who have they played? Who have they played?
You talking about Cam not playing well. You're talking about people catching up with Kyler Murray. Yeah. How's Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, doing?
Yeah, they're starting to catch up a little bit.
Let's start looking at the standings and look at the quarterbacks. How many of them would you qualify that are in the playoffs there in that top 14 as running quarterbacks? Probably none. The best runner is Josh Allen.
Yeah, and he's nasty.
But he's got a cannon of an arm, and he's a good thrower too. But every one of them, but Josh Allen, what I mean, he can throw from the pocket.
I think you can classify. People are going to go crazy when I say this, but Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes have similar playing styles. They both have huge arms and can throw the ball, but they can be mobile if they need to be.
But they're not Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton, and Kyler Murray as in running quarterbacks. Or the option is 50-50.
Keep that smirk on your face, Terry. Last time I checked,
your team would
Bills are in the playoffs.
You're too,
and they beat y'all last year on Thanksgiving.
Let's not forget about the Browns. Let's not forget about Baker Mayfield. He hasn't thrown an interception in 5 games. No interceptions, 5 straight games.
And
over 300 yards passing last week.
The Browns now they lead the league in most snaps under center. And so that's where Baker's been really effective.
And he's been playing well, very quietly, and I think that as he's focused more on the game, I loved his quote when he said, what's different about you? He said, I think about what I'm going to do, and if an idiot would do that, I just tell myself I'm not going to do that. So I mean,
and it's so funny. I keep looking over here at Terry just making all these faces about these teams. I'm like, well, we're talking about playoff teams and Super Bowl contenders.
We're not talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
Not the Cowboys.
While it's on my mind, exactly what you just said, what Baker said.
Yeah,
I don't know if this is where he got it from, but my kids forever have had a Bugs Bunny DVD in my car, and one of the things is him and Daffy go on a television show, and they're competing to win prizes or whatever, and Daffy doesn't know it's called Your Best Friend Show, and you're supposed to answer questions. Daffy knows nothing about bugs. So after round 1, Daffy was making up answers like his middle name and stuff. And then Bugs is like, listen, whatever you do in round 2, whatever you think, say the opposite. And the whole round 2 was Daffy going, it'd be like, what's your favorite drink? And he's like, I want to say, what's Bugs' favorite drink? And he's like, I want to say spinach milkshake. But I'm going to go with chocolate, Gene. And that's exactly, I don't know if Baker saw that cartoon. It's almost quote for quote what Bugs Bunny told Daffy Duck in that cartoon.
That's how come Cleveland will not win a championship. We are comparing Baker to Daffy Duck.
Well, first of all, Terry, there's only 3 or 4 teams that can win a championship probably in the NFL. And we talk about that in college, how it's a bad thing. At least in college, there's 100-something teams in college and you vote on it. At least these teams, win in advance and play for it. Steelers are still the 1 seed after losing this week to the Washington football team. Kansas City's the 2, Buffalo's 3.
Some would say that
4.
should not be the case, though.
I'm going by the standings.
I know. I'm just saying. Some would say that the Washington football team was a worse loss compared to the Kansas City's loss to the Raiders.
Okay, so that's how people in college do that, which is that's what college football fans do. In the NFL, we use real rules. So Pittsburgh wins the tiebreaker over Kansas City based on best winning percentage in conference games. That's how they do it in the NFL. So Pittsburgh's the 1 seed, Kansas City 2, Buffalo 3, Tennessee 4, Cleveland 5, Miami 6, Colts 7. If playoffs started today, Colts would be in Kansas City, Miami would be in Buffalo, and the Browns would be back in Tennessee. Tommy, so how you feel about that one?
Well, they did a good job on Henry. They did a good job tackling him. Mm-hmm. They did not. Remember the guy who got stiff-armed by Henry and got posterized? Even though the play came back on a penalty, they went low on him. They hit him. They made him fumble. They took him out of the game. They kept going after him. They did not let up in the first half. Now, in the second half, I think they let up just a little bit too much. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't want to play hard and try to beat them 60-0 because you got more games coming up, injuries this time of year.
Well, I was about to say, there was probably some DBs in the second half taking
plays off.
Well, like making business decisions on Henry.
Yeah.
He's going to run my way in the second half, and I'm up 20. I might.
I'll tell you what, the second half is something that I think that Tennessee should look to do going forward. Is I know how great Derrick Henry is, but don't sleep on those wide receivers, and Tannehill can spin the ball. I mean,
who's the big guy? The big wide receiver?
Corey Davis?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he had like 140 yards.
But if you look at him
and A.J. Brown, I mean, they got two studs.
If you look at them next to the DBs, oh my God!
Oh yeah, they're big.
Oh my God,
they're big. That's why
guys.
To me, it's like I know what your bread and butter is, but don't be afraid to because that's when did they start coming back? When they asked Tannehill, because your weakness has been your secondary. They know that.
Denzel Ward's
exactly.
Out there,
I would have been attacking that from the beginning, but.
Harrison's
you got here on the back of Derrick Henry. You're just going to continue riding him forward. So.
All right, guys. You see the playoff teams in.
Any disputes?
Traditionally, teams, the top 12 defensive teams in the NFL have been a Super Bowl champion, 49-54. Terry, I've got Steelers at 17 a game are first, Dolphins at 17 are second, Rams at 18-9 are third, Ravens fourth, Saints fifth, Kansas City sixth, Patriots and Washington seventh, eighth, Giants ninth. You were mentioning their defense. Colts 10th, Bucks 11, Bears 12, 49ers 13, and Cardinals 14. Terry, right now, let's pick our. So we're going to do bad picks. Let's just start with this. Right now, in the Super Bowl, who you got? Tom and Hunter, be ready too. So for your answers, and y'all can blurt them out if you're ready. While Terry's thinking.
I know. I'm going Pittsburgh against Green Bay.
I got Steelers Saints. Hunter and Tommy.
I got Kansas City and the Rams.
Okay.
Going against the grain. Saying it's going to be the Rams and the Browns.
You love to hear it.
Yep. The Rams and the Browns.
Miami, I think, has a better chance.
I can't pick Washington. They're not solidified to be in yet.
I think Miami has a better chance of winning if they have Fitzpatrick in the ball game.
Did they just go and knock off a contender on the road, Terry?
Did you? How many games did I say
you didn't answer the question,
won?
Terry. You didn't answer the
question.
You've got 9
wins.
Notice everybody listening at
teams.
home. Notice Terry does not answer questions.
That's not what I asked you, Tom.
They're
9-3. Cowboys are 3-9.
Yeah, and he's still.
You got 2 wins.
Cowboys got swept by a team with no name.
Oh my Lord!
And I'm a fan. So
one of Cowboys' wins is the Falcons not jumping on an onside kick.
X factor in these playoffs. Buffalo.
Another of their wins
be careful.
is Andy Dalton coming back.
Buffalo.
So let's do our picks for this week's before the end of the show here. All right, Tommy. Texans at Bears. Texans favored by 2 in Chicago. Rumor I saw last night: Dak Prescott to the Bears.
They have to
anybody
sign
to
him.
the Bears. Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott. Anybody to the Bears.
Houston's been playing better, but on the road, you figure Chicago's eventually going to get another win.
Is it going to be cold?
That's
a dome team.
It's 35
playing
degrees
outside.
right now.
Yeah, I'd like to think that Chicago finally gets a win, and Houston came back to earth by getting beat last week. So even though Chicago should have won last week, I'm going to take Chicago.
Terry, Chiefs in Miami. Does the number 2 Dolphins defense in the NFL at 8-4 pull off the upset? Chiefs haven't been really blowing teams out. Do they win in Miami?
Chiefs win in Miami.
Chiefs win in Miami.
Yeah.
I can't wait to cut that one next Friday afternoon.
Trust me, you won't.
Come on. That'll be simple.
It's on the road. That'd be a tough game.
If Ryan Fitzpatrick was quarterback in that
Tom.
game, I would pick it.
Ryan Fitzpatrick keeps both teams in the game, but he's been playing better than
he's been screwed this year.
Than Tua, yeah.
All right, Tommy. Cowboys at Bengals.
That's a game in hell this week.
Pick the right one.
That's a snoozer right there. From the Who Gives a You Know What department. Let's go ahead because Cincinnati's quarterback is not playing, and I don't think Bernard's playing either. I will go ahead and pick the lowly Cowboys.
Tom, that's a bad pick.
That Dalton goes back into Cincinnati.
I'm a Cowboy man. We getting ready to jump ahead of Cincinnati for that number 1 pick.
Yeah, the Jets are going to get the number 1
Which team's
pick.
going to? I mean, this is pick values right here.
You wait.
Both teams are going to try
The
to lose.
Cowboys
This
Final
haven't-
score's going to be like 47-44.
No.
Neither one of them's going to want to win.
I was going to say
No.
6-3.
I mean,
No, neither one of them wants to
They
win.
just don't want to
so
try.
Yeah.
If we lose, we move ahead of Cincinnati.
But they're technically still in the playoff race, so they have to try to win.
This is for let me give you the overall pick.
We lose, Tom.
Yeah, this is for the third pick in the draft.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Who cares?
If
once,
we get
once
to number
Lawrence
3,
is gone, everything else is a crapshoot.
But it's easier to move up to 1 from 3 for the Cowboys to get Trevor Lawrence.
If we get to
Why
number
would you
3,
want to ruin Trevor Lawrence's career like that? Why does the NFL want to see?
He would rather be in Dallas than the Jets or the Jaguars.
He'll pull it, Eli.
He's
regardless.
doing it. I think it's going to happen. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a Dallas Cowboy. Hunter, Cardinals at Giants. Arizona favored by 2.5.
At the Giants, I just saw what they did with Russell Wilson, who I think is better than Kyler Murray. They play very similar, but I'm going to take Arizona. Colt McCoy, to me, if that was Daniel Jones, I'd take the Giants. But no, I'm taking the Cardinals.
It'd be a tough game. That's a tough game to pick.
It will.
Tom, Vikings and Buccaneers. Bucks favored by 6.5 at home.
They are at home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't trust Tom Brady down there anymore because he's not getting along with Arians.
He got 6 rings.
Yeah, he's got 6 rings. I said keyword anymore.
He sits there. Tom Brady can sit there and go, I can't hear you. I'm sorry. I got too much gold in my ear.
But see,
the 3 point.
See, I think we're saying with Bill Belichick, as much as I don't like him, really, we see that Bill Belichick with really nothing. How many players opted out and got hurt?
Do you think Kirk Cousins is beating Tom Brady?
Do I think Kirk Cousins is beating Tom Brady? I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah. I think they're going to go down there and beat him. I think the Vikings, you got a Viking fighting a Buccaneer. The Vikings are the real real man fighting the Buccaneers. Just
take the Bucks.
This is on land, not at sea. This is on land, not at sea. I like the Vikings.
Hey, don't let Andre hear you.
But the Vikings are seafarers too, Tom. They're both seafarers.
You're true. That's true.
So here's the thing with the Vikings. They're at the bottom end of the playoff spots right now. And this is what Terry was trying to make sense. Terry's going to be pulling hard for the Bucks this week because the Vikings lose. That means you could possibly have 2 trash NFC East teams sneak in on tiebreakers if the Vikings lose a couple games here. The good news is the bad news is for the NFC East teams, the Cardinals are there too. All right, Terry, Broncos at Panthers for the other game in hell this week.
Terry Bridgewater does some damage this
Christian
week.
Christian McCaffrey is probably doubtful.
No, he's not playing.
But Carolina Panthers win.
Panthers favored by 3. Hunter, Titans at Jaguars.
God, they roll the Jags.
Titans favored by 7.5.
Jags don't want to play nobody. Titans roll. I think
Lennon's
Titans
not played bad.
He's not played bad, but Titans by 2 touchdowns.
1 in 11 teams not going to tackle Derrick Henry.
No.
Tom, Colts in Vegas.
That'll be a good game.
Colts are favored by 3.
That'll be a dang good game.
And the Colts have been playing well. The Raiders are kind of up and down. You just never know what you're going to get.
I could say the same about both teams, technically.
Yeah, but I like the Colts to go in there and beat the Raiders.
Good pick.
Terry, Jets at Seahawks.
Okay, Seahawks.
You didn't think Adam Gase was fighting for his job?
No.
Hunter, Packers at Lions. There is no spread on this game.
Why?
I don't know.
You said at Lions.
They're not sure if the Lions are going to show up.
So it's indoors.
Lions did win last week.
They did?
Yeah, but I'm taking Green Bay.
Green Bay also has a running game. Man, people forget that.
Aaron Jones is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy, the Saints go to Philly. 7.5 points favorite. Start of the Saints.
Well, Terry's boy, Jalen Hurts, gets the start. So, I mean, that's an interesting development. They might move off Wentz after they paid him way too much money.
And he's going to be there. He's not leaving.
No, you'd have to trade him.
Yeah, and somebody's got to take up half of it, and it's all going to be dealt back on Philly to pay for most of it.
All right, so tell me that again, Kevin. Who we got going
Saints
to Philly?
and
The Saints. So the Saints with Hill, I think, has played well, and he's showing that he's more than just a Tim Tebow 2.0. So I like the Saints. The Eagles aren't really playing very good football right
Listen, I like Drew Brees. I like Ben Roethlisberger. They both have top 5 defenses.
Tom, I'm sorry I butted in on yours.
That's okay. No, I don't mind. I'm a much more tolerant person than yourself.
Terry, Falcons at Chargers.
Well, the Chargers got blown out.
Got 45.
Yeah, last week, but they show up this week and they win.
Okay.
Bad pick.
Bad pick. Crap, I can't have Hunter about either one of these, but we'll see.
Yeah, you can.
No,
You can
I
ask
can't.
me both of them.
No, I
You can
can't
ask me both
I
of
know
them.
the answer to both of them.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right. Then.
Washington we'll do all across the board. Washington at 49ers. Tom, Terry.
In Arizona. In Arizona.
49ers.
49ers.
Washington.
I mean, I picked Washington too. It's
We got the better defense.
Neutral site, way better defense.
Oh, no.
Alex Smith bleeds out of both legs.
Alex Smith or Nick Mullins. Like, Jimmy G is not guaranteed to be back.
It's a great story.
He's going to be out there like Professor
We got
X
better
at some
players.
point. All right, last game. Monday Night Football, good game. We'll go across the board here. No, this is Sunday Night Football. Sorry, we'll go across the board for these last two. Steelers at Bills, Tommy.
At the Bills.
Buffalo favored by 3 at home, 43 degrees.
I like Josh Allen. I like the Bills.
Damn right you do.
Yeah.
Not really. Ben Daggum, they put up a chokehold last week and had led 14-0 and let Washington come back and win. That won't happen this week.
Are you worried about Steelers' run game?
Buffalo.
No, Steelers.
I'm taking Buffalo.
Go Steelers.
The Steelers are not as good as
That's
people
my
think they
pick.
are.
Bills are, I don't hate the Bills. I wouldn't mind them seeing one.
At Buffalo, I like Buffalo.
Don't forget, y'all both lost to BYU, remember? Okay.
Hunter, here's your real one. Ravens at Browns.
This is one where I can see, seriously, Cleveland choking it away because it's in sight, the playoffs. You got a chance to get to 10 wins. I'm going to take Baltimore.
It's simple, Baltimore. Easy.
They're going to choke away. This sounds like what everybody was saying before the Tennessee game. So it sounds like, and has Baltimore been playing good football lately?
Yeah, you're good. Only got.
And who's at home?
How many wins y'all got against the
So
500 teams?
you know what?
both?
I like the fact
The Ravens are favored by 2.5.
I like the fact that we've got people like these two out there that keep saying, "Oh, they're terrible. They're not going to win."
Listen, was that not a huge win last week? That was a huge win last week.
They can't stop
so they're gonna
Henry.
drop.
They can't stop Lamar Jackson. Cleveland makes another statement.
Okay.
Cleveland, quote the Raven, nevermore will the Baltimore Ravens make the playoffs.
And that's why you should take the Ravens.
Dogs are 9-3. Just remember this, Terry. Cowboys could win out and still have to win their next 2 games next year just to catch Browns and 9 wins in this.
The Browns have had, and what you
year.
guys don't pay attention to is the Browns have had a lot more success against the Ravens than, say, the Steelers. So
Right.
you guys are kind of ignoring that fact, too.
That is very true. Okay. All right, guys. Any other news and notes, Hunter, we missed, want to talk about? NBA preseason has started back up.
Yeah.
Hornets, I don't think they've played yet.
They play tonight.
They'll play tonight.
They play tonight.
They'll get going
in
this week.
Charlotte, too. So.
Can't watch it, though.
I had you go ahead and mention Coach K. Anything else we're missing, guys? Trying to make sure that we kind of didn't have my schedule written down. So
I think we hit everything. Everything that the people wanted to hear.
There's nothing going on in baseball right now. We're golf.
And if we could, before we go, one more time, Friendship, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. Go there, 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-919-3001. Friendship Nissan, 156 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-245-1661. Go see our friends.
With the California governor doing what they're doing as far as restriction play, NASCAR has taken California off their schedule for next year. They replaced it with another road course. Now 7. Chase Elliott.
I was just going to say, Chase Elliott, look at his
favorite now. 7 road courses out of 36 races. So that'll be it. So what they did, they moved around the timing. They replaced with the Daytona road course. So Terry, now we have 2 weeks of racing in Daytona to start the season. Then they're going to go to Homestead instead of Homestead's second week. So they're going to race the 500, then the road course at Daytona in back-to-back weeks. So to keep everybody there in the spot. So Florida is allowing the racing to go on. Guys, see you next week sometime.
Yeah.
Hunter Monday. Tom and Terry next Saturday. Tanner, Monday or Wednesday. We'll talk about that in just a minute. And I'll see JP next Saturday. Thank you for listening to Shot Chalks. Saturday morning sports talk. Brought to you by Friendship, Chrysler Deep Dodge Ram, and Friendship Nissan of Forest City. Breakfast by Mitchum's Kitchen of